Talk, people.
Oh,
Let me know if there's any
So-
issues. Everything is set up.
Jesus.
We're on
and
the
Impact is up to 2 as
Am I way
well.
too loud?
Ah,
Ah.
that's echoing. Okay.
So something's happening. We're having
It's a
more
horrendous
issues.
echo.
I don't have an echo.
I don't have an echo either.
Do you have it on
God.
multiple open on multiple windows?
Oh yeah.
You probably
I
have
do.
the stream open.
Mhm. I fixed it.
Okay.
I did it just to check the sound. It sounds fine.
So, it started playing from the link in the Discord chat. Like
It
in
does
that little
that?
window. It was starting to play in that little window, even though I muted the webpage.
Huh.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, actually, hold on. Save. I need to save this. No, I'll
Well,
save it after.
welcome everybody.
Hello.
We're just getting everything figured out. We'll be
This is
on
my
our
first
board
time
in a few
streaming. We
minutes.
switched over to I'm now streaming the game, and so I'm like, okay, let me figure this out. Okay, it's taking way longer than I thought, but it's set up now. We should be good. Hi, welcome to our first episode of Laws and Defect. Zen GMing.
Yes, I am GMing. We will all vamp while Primark changes his mic to mono because it's only coming in on left channel apparently.
Yep, I can confirm this.
If anyone knows the rules to Canadian Dodgeball Championships,
Which is apparently on the front page of Twitch for like don't go look because we're more important, but you know,
Yeah.
it's a little weird.
Last I
I
checked,
don't know
it
how they
scores
score.
2-1. 10 minutes left in
2-2.
however many quarters or periods or divisions or whatever you call it.
quadrants. I don't.
Quadrants, eons, however long it takes to play
Remember-
dodgeball.
Like, no offense to our Canadian members, it is in metric though, so we need to like.
Metric scoring.
But yeah, we're here to eventually play Burning Wheel once we settle. Usually we vamp for a little while. So anybody got anything they need to get off their chest from the previous
I'm
couple
writing
weeks?
I don't know. I started writing a supplement for the Zine Quest thing about smoking with your friends and doing nothing for Troika. So it's an adventure
Nice.
game, but my supplement is not adventuring.
It's just hang out the RPG like.
Okay,
What if
I have now
the adventure is the
forced
friends you make
mono.
along the
I
way?
should
Yeah,
sound
it's
good
like
now.
the adventure's like go get food,
Go get food. The Wendy's run.
entertain yourself in your living room. Yeah, there's massive tables of dumb like people that just show up.
So
I wish I
you need in that table. Can you have a role playing game break out in the middle of your role playing game?
No, I didn't do anything that was that meta.
Meta.
That's too much work.
roll to roll.
Yeah.
Roll to see how well your
Can I
character
roll
rolls for
intelligence
their
to
character.
invent Dungeons and Dragons 6th edition?
Yeah, basically, yeah, I don't want to do any of that. But yeah,
The downtime activity. It's going to take me 2 years.
It's for Troika, so it's a pretty rules light game to begin with, and it's pretty easy to write dumb little material stuff for it. So it's I don't know.
Nice.
I wanted to do Zine Quest again, and I didn't have anything mostly done. So in like 2 days, I just wrote a bunch of tables.
Nice. It is freezing here.
Yeah,
It's actually better.
So cold.
81 degrees
Where's my
Fahrenheit.
blanket? I'm not kidding. I have a blanket with me
Mhm.
just to cover my poor legs.
Mhm.
Shorts
I'm
are too
California
comfy and easy to
freezing.
wear to not wear shorts, so I'm wearing
Are we
shorts
set up?
with a
All
blanket.
right, so we've determined that both Indigo and Killer Pond don't count as far as temperature goes. You can just shut the fuck up.
You don't have perspective. The perspective of traumatic cold.
Listen, everyone has their own battles and their own struggles they have to deal with. Mine is when it's below 70 degrees, it's cold.
Mine is it's always swampy. Just always a swamp. Nothing I ever own is dry.
Yeah, I might take freezing over that.
Mine is also everyone wants to live here, so traffic is abysmal.
Yeah, it's not good. It's a problem.
Actually read an article that's going to get better because enough people are leaving California that you're going to lose a couple of house seats in
Does
the next
video-
census.
Does video look scraggly to anyone? Like is it dropping frames? Does it look like OBS says it's not?
I don't
But
know.
does video look like low FPS to anyone
Little
else? I mean, Indigo,
Uh,
your cam is a bit stuttery, but
I found this cam on a table in my college, and I just took it.
You just took it.
I actually kind of believe you.
College table cam.
I'm not lying.
That sounds like it'd be part of a different website.
It was sitting on a
No, those are mounted underneath the desk, not on top of them.
So, if anything is good enough for us to, play, let's play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're
fucking
still
do
on
this.
the left channel, but
I
that's
am.
fine.
I changed OBS settings to force. What? Hold on.
What are you
OBS.
what are we talking about now?
It says I'm on the mono
Active?
channels. Unless I have to start and start and stop again. I'll just switch to this mic then, and I'm not gonna mess with it.
We're back.
That
We're up
works.
to 3-3 on the dodgeball game. Still not
All right.
Who knows how they score?
Okay,
Oh, they
properties.
The
just
game's made
switched
up and the points don't matter.
They just
Switch to this
switched
mic. I'm on this
follow
mic now.
chat.
So I'll switch to that. Oh no,
You're
I
good
don't.
now. I
Yeah.
hear both channels.
Okay, and I'm just
We'll take
switching.
we'll take a look at it during the break.
There's also a link in chat saying a suggestion. Oh my.
Yeah, I know everything will have changed because I just had to minimize it for a sec. So all the cameras went away for just a sec. They're back.
Something happened in the Canadian dodgeball chat, and a bunch
Okay,
of people are getting
we're good.
banned from chat.
I cannot watch.
right.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Rick. I will watch it later. I can't now. Actually, message it to me on Discord because Twitch messages are temporary and hard to find again in the future. But I should sound different. I should sound mono. Let's begin. Zen, take us
Alright.
away with. I think before
Yes.
we actually start with the first scene, let's start with a summary of the game itself.
Yeah. Oh, I got a whole thing for
Okay.
you.
That was the
Oh.
whole thing.
Okay.
A little over a page of intro. Sit back and relax while I read off the stupid thing that I quickly wrote yesterday.
Hey,
Box
let me stop
text!
the mic for audience.
I'm waiting.
Read me a story.
All right. So this is either awesome or the absolute worst thing I've ever done, but let's go. So, come forth, foul demons of the aether, and bear witness as these four poor souls break themselves upon the wheel for your entertainment. I, your humble narrator, bid you welcome to our table. You see splayed before you a convocation of willing sacrifices that have assembled to partake in a tale yet told, a tale of evil deeds, noble efforts, heroic sacrifices, and shattered dreams, a tale of mercenary soldiers, the Onyx Legion, bound by written oath and sealed into service with the promise of fortune. But woe be unto them, for they are now lashed to the fate of the court of the Unbroken Dynasty, a nefarious collective ruled by a necromantic overseer known as the Undying King. But let us start at the beginning. And at the beginning, there was war. It had carried on for as long as people could remember, the Unbroken Dynasty creeping out past its borders, consuming the nearby towns and villages that had rebuilt upon the ruins of an ancient megalithic city. At first, resistance was perfunctory and easily quelled, but as the power of the Unbroken grew, so did the resolve of the Unconquered, and soon the free folk banded together. Nations were built on defiance as the Unbroken pressed forward, and armies were raised to defend against the oppressors. Unfortunately for the Unbroken, fear of freedom lost is a potent motivator, and these armies were effective. The Unbroken Dynasty reeled as they finally faced enemies that could match their strength, and for a time, the expansion was stymied. That is until an accord was struck with an old ally. The Onyx Legion, the last free mercenary company in the hemisphere, signed a quite lucrative contract with the representatives of the Unbroken Dynasty, and in due course lent the strength of their arms to the war effort. Now, the Unbroken had the upper hand, both in numbers and know-how, for the Legion had existed in a perpetual state of war since its inception, and few were the nations that could feel the force to match them in battle. Together, the Legion and the Unbroken pushed their way outward in an unprecedented expansion of the dynasty's lands. Fearing that the dynasty would spread itself too thin, the leadership of the Legion advised holding the borders, building up the conquered lands, and working to incorporate the new citizens of the dynasty. Cooler heads prevailed as the nobles in the capital of Savalis eventually agreed, and it appeared that the dynasty's thirst for more lands had finally been slaked. However, the broken armies of the conquered nations had not been fully defeated. They now hid amongst the shadows and ruins of the newly acquired lands as a rebellion. As such, the Unbroken Dynasty would not release the Onyx Legion from their contract until the resistance had been dealt with. So it was that the Legion dispatched squads of troops throughout the newly conquered lands to quell any trace of insurrection amongst the populace. We bring you to one such place, the mining borough of Arundel, centrally located amongst the western frontier settlements, now within the dynasty's borders. But what is this? The mine is sealed, the entrance collapsed, stone and splintered beams blocking the path into the depths below. Now, not far to the south, a congregation of inhabitants, clustered in small groups around what appear to be funeral pyres. One group rallies around two of the pyres, its members clad in armor and bearing the mark of the Legion. One man speaks to the assembled mass. Let us listen and learn of what has transpired. And from that, we pan the camera over onto Sarian, who is addressing the assembled masses at a funeral of sorts. However, no bodies are present on these pyres. And I'll let you guys introduce yourselves and take it from there.
Okay. I think we'll introduce ourselves and I'll speak after, or should I speak first? How do you guys feel?
Introduce yourself and say your bit, then we move to the next person.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sarian is, just from looking at Sarian, you can tell, like he is from the capital. He has kind of, even if he seems maybe less so than some of the other like nobility you've seen that are very haughty, he still has that kind of upright properness to how he speaks and his posture and his like body language, that you can tell this is a man who has not known much hardship, at least relative to most people around here. He's at a funeral, so he has a somber face. I think his face usually is pretty sort of looking far away often, and like looking off into the distance sometimes. He looks like he's recently arrived. His boots that he's wearing are still caked in thick layers of mud, and he's still wearing a part of a light traveling coat. There's a small, I don't think briefcases. Oh, we lost someone, which means it broke the can. We're back. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay. And the cameras are in the right place? Yes, good.
Yes.
Way to ruin my immersion.
Yeah.
I got jacked out of the Matrix. I'm sorry.
He looks like that he's someone who
You got
recently
jump
arrived, that he looks someone who isn't a fighter. Most of the people in the crowd would bear the 3 swords crossed of the Onyx Legion crest. He does not. He is, I think, the one player character who's actually not a member of the mercenary company. He's a recent arrival. And so he is probably preparing to speak, but as we do that, the camera pans around and then sees, and like focuses on notable members of the company.
I don't know. Who's next? We roll die? How does it work?
Well, the most visually prominent person would probably be our scale-skinned friend.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, the third person.
I'd imagine.
Iguana.
I'd imagine I'm probably holding a torch to like light the pyre. So I'm only gonna say his name once, and then I'm gonna go with his nickname because, you know, I
You'll
did a
know.
randomly generated name.
You'll
You'll
know.
know why. So, De Ray Renard Galgarion is looks fairly fit. He's got black hair, and obviously what makes him look weird is he's got this kind of scaly lizard-like skin, but it's definitely a man.
Much like Iguana.
No, more like a dragon, but iguanas maybe. And
I am the Lizard King.
I am the lizard. And
you gotta. We lost more again.
we lost your wife.
No. Okay. I'm gonna go to the splash screen. We're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna keep audio up, and you can keep talking if you want to.
Oh,
describe your
okay.
character. Oh, and we're back.
Oh, she's back.
We're back.
All right.
So he's wearing the tabard of the Legion with the 3 swords, but underneath is some rather finely made armor, and his signature tactikilt, just like red kilt pattern for his legs, but shield strapped to his back. No weapon on him, but just holding his torch, kind of somberly, with his helmet under his arm, and just sort of waits to listen to the words with a young ward by his side.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
That's a person.
We'll pan over to Krim.
Yeah.
All right. I can't hear myself. That sounds very odd. Can anyone else hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay, then I will go with that. So Krim is probably standing at the opposite side from. Wow, my
Sarian
name
and
sense is
Gale.
not that good.
From
From Sarian and Gale, thank you very much.
Mhm.
She's probably standing a little bit back. Her arms are crossed. She's notably a bit apart from all this, but she's watching the empty pyre, the emptiness a lot. She's dressed currently in pretty much full what would be armor, which in this case is light leather armor and whatnot. She seems to be not completely paying attention to the actual words, but more more a little bit stuck back in her own head.
All right. I think that makes it me.
Yep.
So, time. I think I'm pronouncing that's close enough. I also randomly generated it. So, time is wearing the dumb. I don't know. It's a very specific German mercenary outfit with the big poofy shoulders and like the big poofy pants. And then it has the tabard with the logo on it. They're kind of like skinny and pale. The bob. It has a big flag with our sword logo. That's what we decided it was. It has three swords in it. Yeah. So they're not real swords. They're embroidered swords on the logo. It's not a stick with swords on it. Can I just standing? Because my whole job is to stand there with the flag most of the time. Yeah, that's pretty part and parcel for Bannerman flag. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is work. I can't even like pay attention to the funeral.
Yeah. I think Sarian basically starts off his speech with, of course, the appropriate long silence that you do in a funeral, and then he says, obviously there's no mechanical or magical way to amplify sound, so I think he says it quietly. So he says something to himself that is meant to be to everyone, but no one, even the people in the front bleachers, can't hear it. And then he repeats himself. I never knew my father. I've heard stories, both of glory and shame. I decided finally it was time had come to meet him, that the years of warfare would keep him from me no longer. And as I'm sure all of you know, I'm a stranger here. I arrived not 2 days ago to this. And he just gestures like behind him and to the side. I feel like all of you know your captain, late captain, my father, better than I ever did. I can tell you the stories of how he met my mother, but that was a long time ago. He glances at probably a woman who's nearby him, who looks very like well dressed, probably with the insignia or like a insignia of station, not of the mercenary company, but of the actual. Is the Undying is the name of the country?
The Unbroken.
The Unbroken. Okay.
The Unbroken Dynasty. Yes.
Yeah. So she has an insignia of rank within the Unbroken Dynasty. She's probably like behind him or near him. He like glances nervously at her and then continues. It's been a surprise, but I never have seen my father's face. And I know that we need this mine cleared for other stuff that isn't appropriate to talk about now. But it's just, I wish I could see it. He's quiet for like a kind of too long amount of time, and then he says, "Thank you." And then he steps back. Like he is someone who is not a public speaker, is not a. And I think this was not something he expected to do. This was a surprise for him. I would presume the woman I mentioned probably like put him up to it.
As soon as you step down, as if I had been waiting the whole time, I signaled to. I'm assuming we have a musician playing some sort of horned instrument.
Yeah, there's a bugler and a guy with a drum.
Yeah, I signaled to our musical accompaniment, and they start playing our funeral song.
Yeah, I'm whispering, probably having a tense whisper conversation with the woman.
Yeah, that the music comes in like a version of taps, accompanied by a snare drum, which would be the signal to begin lighting the pyre. As everyone like looks on somberly. It's more than just you guys here. There's your entire detachment is here. It's known as the Dusk Company.
Mm-hmm. And as the camera backs off, I imagine that it shows us in the middle of a town square of sorts, wouldn't it be?
Actually, you're in
front of a burnt out church.
Well, it's in an old building that only has like 3 walls and no ceiling. It's a very large building.
Like a bingo hall.
Yeah, you're in the middle of a ruined city, and this is really the only place that was big enough to put the funeral pyres needed. Not far away from you are a couple of other clusters of people. Ostensibly, other people died in the mine collapse that weren't members of the Legion, and they're holding the funerals for those people as well.
Okay.
Yep. I go to light the pyres, bringing along the boy to show him how to do it.
Okay, and you're using a torch and not your sorceress ways.
I assume I lit the torch with my sorceress ways.
Okay.
You know, funerals aren't to be flashy. You're meant to go like be somber and light the pyres. You don't want to go, all right, I'm gonna light this bitch up.
You guys want blue? You guys want white fire? I can do everything.
What kind of fire you want?
And does
sparkles.
Don't worry, I do funerals and bar mitzvahs.
See the Sorcerer Academy on New Year's Eve.
So yeah, you touch the torch to the pyre, the kindling lights up. There's like 2 other people that walk up and light other places on the pyre to make sure that it goes. It's not long before it is a raging fire in front of you, and then a second one is lit for Lieutenant Acosta, who no one really says anything about him. He was kind of an asshole.
I'm assuming. I don't know if that was a pun on purpose, but it sounds like a cost.
Yep.
But yeah, the funeral the funeral pyres are lit. Everyone stands there in silence until a good portion of the wood is burned. And then you see a grizzled old sergeant grumble throw his helmet on and just start walking away. Like, okay, this is over. We've got work to do.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm still saying I'm just gonna stand there literally until the pyre burns down with the dumb flag.
Okay.
I don't
I think
do the whole thing.
Saren would walk up next to you and like not say anything at first unless you want to say something first.
I'll hold the flag.
Yeah. Saren's just like staring into the fire. How well did you know him?
And I turn and I do the shush, we're at a funeral motion.
Okay. And I walk away.
Wow.
Gale also waits to watch the pyre burn. He makes his young ward Brodin stay, and like if he asks like why aren't we leaving, he'll like talk to him.
Krim is kind of glancing towards Broden, but not actually. And then basically catching herself doing it and then looking away. And eventually she's going to just say, the fire's low enough, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time Broden sort of catches your eye, he immediately turns away with like a scowl on his face.
Is this something noticeable because I'm standing right next to him, or is it like
I mean, yeah, if you're paying attention, he's not hiding his disdain for Krim at all.
oh
Once you're done, like lighting the fires, assuming you'd like stand somewhere that's appropriate, I will. I think
Yeah.
some people are leaving. I think a couple people are probably wandering. I assume there's like, politely quiet and whispered conversations going on. So I will try my hand sitting next to you, Gale, and Broden. And I try to be more polite and like introduce myself. I'm like, hi. I'm Sarian. I'm sure you know that.
you told us that when you did your speech.
Yes. How? What's your name?
You can call me Gale.
And Broden
My
introduces himself
real
too.
name's way too fucking long.
I There's an awkward silence, of course, and then he just
Yeah.
says, "Did you know my father well?"
The fact that he was the commander. I mean, knew him that well. Didn't get a pint with him.
Okay. I heard stories about his deeds and
Mhm.
how skilled he was. I just don't know anyone who knew him as a person. Even like my mother didn't know him that well and hadn't seen him in years. And yeah, so I'm drugs.
Hmm.
What do you do around here?
I'm trying to do the accent without messing it up. I'm the company. It's turning more into Irish, but it's fine. I'm the company sorcerer. This is my young ward, Broden. Say hi, Broden.
Yeah, Broden sort of sheepishly looks over at you and he's like, hello.
Sarian just nods at him.
Hmm.
Hello. Looks back at the fires again, and like I think they're probably both like sitting on a makeshift bench or something and looking and
Yeah,
sort of both
probably.
facing the same direction. So earlier I saw you lit that torch with magic.
Hey.
Is that common here? The mercenaries do magic?
not everyone. So the only like people I would know would be a Trixie, Broden, and myself that are like part of our little like
Your
detachment,
magic,
right?
yeah.
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 Usually, you know that the company, like the Legion, tries to put at least one sorcerer in each company. Like they try
Mhm.
to spread that out.
Yeah. The Legion tries to put one sorcerer in each company. You know, we learned about Broden not too long ago. He needed teaching, so it's up to me. There's the person above me is a Trixie. We all do sort of different sorts of magic.
Okay. Sounds
How
interesting.
how well versed is Sarian in what happened during the war? Pay attention to the stories of the war at all?
I think that yes, it's more the recent war, not like any of the the last few years of the war is what he's most familiar with, due to his background. But like the war, 10 or more years ago, he wouldn't be that familiar with it. So I
Okay,
think
then
he
then
would know the basics.
you would probably have heard of a Trixie. She was quite well talked about in noble court as the Mad Mage of Marstadt. Single-handedly won a battle due to her cunning.
Okay.
Was the bad mage?
The Mad
Mad
Mage.
Mage.
Bad. Ooh.
Man,
Yeah,
The ones that create the dungeons.
she transformed a bunch of soldiers into birds and outflanked the enemy.
Oh wow,
Hmm,
cool.
That sounds gross and uncomfortable. I don't
It would
think
be.
any of them signed up for that.
I'm sure they had to make quite the high obsteel test when they were transformed into birds.
And then transformed back from bird.
Yeah,
Another high obsteel test.
probably less high, but yes, probably still quite high.
I mean they were high in the sky when that happened. But...
So,
The fall.
yeah. Well, it was good to meet you. I think I'm gonna be probably staying in town. I know this is weird to ask, but there are plans to clear the mine, right? To find the bodies.
As far as I know, there's no current plan, but I don't think I'm high enough rank to know that, right?
You would know that in the collapse, Chief Engineer Klein was the one that was leading the captain and the lieutenant through, showing them the mine. He was the only one with the knowledge to safely build the mine. So taking all
Basically,
that stone out of there, like without an engineer, is risky.
yeah, we don't
Yeah.
know. I think.
How long ago did the mine collapse? Like 2 days ago?
I arrived 2 days
Yeah.
ago, so
Yeah, a few days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
You arrived, and then
immediately like, my son's here, no! And then his
Blow up the
shout
mine!
of
smoke bomb. And he threw the smoke bomb when he was inside the mine.
yeah, it went
fire.
really badly. Yeah.
I think Gale just sort of say, as far as I know, there's nothing that planned yet, but we haven't really come back together. It's been sort of a shock.
Okay,
I understand how you feel.
I just want to see his face before,
Mhm.
or at least if there's anything left before
I want to
anything
what
sets
remains
in.
of his face.
I want to see what remains of his face. I want to see if there's anything left. It will rot soon. I don't want that to happen. It should be burnt. Gale and Broden, it was nice to meet you too. I'll be around. And he shakes your hand, or does the equivalent, but let's just say
Yeah,
shaking hands.
Yeah, he'll shake your hand back. Just be like, if you need anything, come find me.
Yeah, I think when you shake Broden's hand, he holds it fast before you like pull away. He's like, I know a thing or two about Los. And he like shoots a glance at Krim's back as she's walking away.
Who does this? What is this child?
He's like 12 or something, isn't he? Like he.
Hold on, I'll find his
How
age.
hard- how,
He's
like,
he's also
you'll see.
sorcerously knowledgible.
how
Yeah.
hard-
No, this is like a
16.
Draco Malf. Oh, 16. Okay, so he's barely a
He's
kid.
a little shit. He's a little.
Draco Malfoy.
He's going through his emo phase.
Yeah, but you see him like shoot a dirty look towards Krim's back. And think, perhaps we could commiserate. Now I'm going Scottish. He's supposed to be English.
Listen, we'll just our accents will
He's
just travel the aisles
no,
together.
Yeah, he's just picking up what you're laying down, Gale.
Yeah, we're gonna like Dragon Ball Fusion our accents.
Yeah. What did you say?
Says we'll get to pint together. Talk about it.
All right, I have to make something.
He nods.
On a pedantic point that pints rely on having a system like kegs and there's a tap and like a dispenser. Do we have that? Is it you saying we have this technology, or is it a bucket of beer that you scoop it up with?
That technology exists. Yes, there are barrels and taps, and you cannot have an army without having a way to transport alcohol.
No.
Trust me, the alcohol is important.
Yeah.
like pressurized and being able to measure cups and it's a lot of stuff.
Oh, it's just gravity fed. It's fine.
We also have magic. They're magical pints.
So Sarian says that would be nice, and then he like walks and leaves the funeral as well.
Yep. Gale literally stays until the fire is done.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Like-
So it's just the two of us at this point.
Yeah.
Hold the flag like I'm supposed to, just waiting, looking very bored because I have to stand here silently until the fire burns down. The dumb song has played 3 or 4 times.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think the guy with the horn eventually gives up, and he's like, "Yeah, screw this," and he walks away. Followed shortly after by the drum, and then you're just sort of left there in the breeze, just flag waving as the pyres burn down and eventually just turn to coal and embers.
I'll just give. I'll give time just like a nod, and then
We walk away.
I did mine for like cultural reasons. You're just like, I gotta do my job.
Like, well, the fire's done. I'm done. I leave.
Yeah, so you guys walk back out onto out the door of one of the walls onto a cobblestone street that leads north and south. Dense stone buildings in either direction, and you can see more cross streets further down the road. Most of the buildings look old, dilapidated, moss and ivy growing up the sides. Some of them have people going in and out, others totally empty. You can see the balconies of the buildings have been converted to hold plant life, like they're growing food on these terraces, as well as most of the roofs of the populated buildings have been converted into gardens. And that's how you farm in a megalithic city that there's not ready access to large fields and dirt. Yeah, so a few hours pass, you all go about your business, your duties, whatever, and eventually you hear someone yelling that there is a wagon train coming. This is something that normally happens. There are lookouts at some points along the periphery of settlements, and whenever someone's coming in, they will make an announcement of some kind, and it'll ripple through town. But this particular wagon train, fairly opulent looking, at least a couple of the carriages are, and one in the middle is not pulled by horses. You cannot see what is powering it, but it's just tooling along seemingly of its own power.
So it's not horses in like horse leather masks.
No, there is nothing at the front of this pulling it along.
Okay.
What time of day
Mhm.
about is it? And
The
Wait, do you
funeral
have
would have been in
time
the
day-wise?
morning. This is
Do you have time day-wise?
in order to know, you have to roll. No, funeral probably happened like first thing. So we're after the pyres burned down a couple hours later, like
Yeah, we light
early,
them
early
we light
afternoon.
them at sunrise.
okay.
But yeah, this wagon train rolls into what functions as the center of Arundel. Basically, it's a old square, an old town square. The first couple of carriages stop. Out pops what you recognize as unbroken soldiers. They wear light mail with a gray tabard that has no insignia on it at all. And their helmets have sort of wings on the sides that come out a little bit, but
Like
they're
gull?
they're skeletal looking wings. They're
Oh,
not
okay.
they're not like the Captain America things. They're like
Little bony
they
bat wings.
yeah, they look like bat wings, but without the connective
Fingers.
tissue between the
Yeah.
bones.
Yeah, just the finger bones of like a hand.
Yeah.
Just hands.
Sort of gives the impression of antlers a little bit, but they're not quite long enough.
Imagine being the guy that has to like make all of the army's helmets with the little like
Little
bone
bat
fingers
wings.
and all of them.
Magic.
It's so much work. It's so much work.
You gotta sit there and glue them together. Just like-
These are snap-on; they're fine. But no, the soldiers get out. They create a perimeter around the wagon train, and that one wagon or the one carriage that doesn't have anything pulling it rolls up into the middle of the town square. There's a small set of stairs that just falls off the side underneath the door. The door swings open, and out walks a woman in her mid-50s, still very colorful hair. She hasn't gone gray yet, but her skin is a bit wrinkled, kind of sallow in the face, piercing blue eyes, and a red and black dress that it's opulent enough that it puts every other piece of garment in this town to shame. Like, she's very, very well off, red bodice with black lace covering it, long flowing skirt underneath that drapes on the ground, and
Does she have a little dress boy that has to follow to keep it from dragging in the mud?
no
No dress boy.
no and out behind her, stepping out of the carriage, is a large, ostensibly a man, you're not sure, but very, very bulky, wearing full plate mail, large broadsword strapped to his back, and he walks down the stairs, stands next to the carriage with his arms folded, as this woman gazes across, looking around, and begins calling out, "Where's the leader? The leader of the Legion?"
Oh, I'm here. I was waiting for a point, but I would be there when like it rolls up. I
Mhm.
would be there.
Sarian
Alright,
is
so
there
you-
when he
so
see
you
when he saw.
hear-
Oh.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Sarian was kind of watching from a distance, and when he sees the woman exit the wagon, his jaw just like clenches and sets, and he looks very tense, but he doesn't do anything. He still like stays back there, but he just looks unhappy to see her and trying not to show it.
Yeah. You watch as she like scans the people that have come out to see who this is. Looks across the townsfolk, locks eyes with both Time and Sarian, but
Do a
quickly
overly
avert.
dramatic bow.
She gives it like a curt nod and just keeps looking around and says, "Where's the captain?"
I raise my hand.
I do a minor start at that.
Bears news doesn't
looks
travel fast.
looks back at you, Time, and says, "You have something to say? I believe I know you, don't I?" She's
Yeah. He gave up the ghost 2 days ago.
Balls. What happened?
Mine collapse.
The mine.
Yes.
How?
I point to someone else who's vaguely in charge. I want to circles up the sergeant.
Okay.
The sergeant's next to you, and you're like, he knows.
First roll of the game. Let's do this.
Okay, switch scenes. Work. Okay, we're on the dice. We're on the chat log.
All right. So for a circles roll, describe the NPC in the life path settings. Explain how the NPC is how the PC is looking for the NPC. So you're just like looking around. He's obviously
Literally
here.
looking with my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's the sergeant. That's the only fact I want about him. He is vaguely in charge. He's kind of the same rank as the other 3 people that are as the other 3 PC mercenaries. Like, he's the same level in the hierarchy, but he's more responsible for decision stuff. I'm more like in charge of the cheerleading team, and Dale's in charge of the wizard team.
Oh yeah, he's like visual effects, cheerleading, and
Visual
Because that's my job. It's the cheerleading squad. I am the bannerman. It's work closely with the drummer and the horn player.
So do you have like a conductor's wand?
I hold the big flag.
okay. I thought that Time was
Good luck
like
with
this
that.
tough person, but in reality, he's like a band nerd. That's what he is.
Yeah, no, they're the like cheerleader. They hold the flag. They're right out front, but they have lost
The
their
color guard?
Yeah.
If he loses the flag, he twirls a baton.
That's why he's good with spears.
I mean, of course, if ever Time has to fight, his spear has a flag on it. Obviously.
No, of course. It's the little pendant version and not the
Yeah.
big display version.
Yeah,
but
you don't want to mess that one up.
that spear has a little pendant that hangs off of it.
Oh my god.
Nice. All right. So the base obstacle for a circles test is 1. We're
2,
gonna say-
because all of my circles tests increase 1 obstacle.
Okay.
before
So you have a +1 ob for that. So we're at 2. Let's see here. The sergeant would be a higher rank, so you're looking at ob 4. I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Is he a higher or the same rank, or is he about like? How does that work?
Different department.
Different departments,
Yeah.
same rank. You mentioned that before, Kite. That like Indigo.
Indigo.
Call him Rockwell next. Why don't you?
At least it's his past character, you know. That's better than calling him a different person's character.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wasn't sure exactly how the ranking structure worked, and nor do I care. But he is somewhere as important as the
Yeah.
other 3.
Yeah, if you're looking for someone to be able to answer her questions and you don't know the answers, I'm guessing that they're a higher rank than you are.
Fair.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Higher rank, different department. He's not like in charge of me. 'Cause I
Right.
feel like
Right.
I'm
He's not your direct superior unless there's a fight going on.
I
But yeah.
think my direct superior was the captain. Is the problem though? Like, while I'm not the next in line to take control of the whole thing, that's the person I took orders from. That's just the captain, because I have a
Right.
specific kind of job. It doesn't need a lot of us.
All right. So you're going to be rolling circles at ob 4.
Yeah. So I have a 1 die affiliation with the Onyx Legion.
Okay.
I'm going to use that. My circles is E1.
All right.
Plus
So you
1.
roll your circles. It'll ask you for modifiers. So put a 1 in there for that.
Yeah.
You don't submit, and it'll ask you for Artha. You don't have any, so just keep that 0. And then when it asks you for an ob,
I
put
failed.
in 4,
I have failed the roll.
and you failed. All right, I should have announced this before, but the consequence is the sergeant fucking hates you.
I thought that was a given.
I thought that was that's what I was signing up for when I said, "Hey, let me roll circles with the B1."
Fair.
Where my circles is worse.
Yeah. So the sergeant marches over, sort of pushes you out from in front of the woman.
Where's my
Was yet
enemy
to
circle list? There it is. What's his name?
We're not naming him yet. If you
Oh, okay.
successfully do that, he's not in an enemy circle yet.
Oh, I thought that was automatic.
Let's see here. Make sure I'm doing it right. Determine the results. On a failure, the consequences happen. Helping characters share the consequences. No, On a failure, the GM may decide that the PC has found an enemy who the player names.
Okay.
I have to name him. We don't have naming conventions yet.
No, we're not naming him. He's just
Oh.
Sergeant, as far
Oh,
as you
Sergeant.
guys are concerned, and he's
What
not an enemy because you guys have to work together. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna pigeonhole you that bad.
Hitler's
But
his
yeah,
name.
Well, enemy is he doesn't like me, but not enemy isn't like he wants to kill me.
right. He just you have had a disagreement. He doesn't like that you don't follow what he views as the chain of command. And he like comes up, puts his hand on your shoulder, literally pushes you out from in front of this woman, and begins talking to her and explains, sorry, miss, we don't know what happened to the mines. We've yet to begin an investigation. And you can see he's being deferential, but he doesn't quite know who he's speaking to.
I would like to condescendingly whisper in his ear her name.
Okay, so you come up and like whisper, "You're talking to the Baroness."
Well, I want to make him feel bad for not knowing.
Oh,
Let's
you idiot!
let's state her name so that we know.
Yeah, it's a Baroness Dominica Caceres. And yeah, his eyes go a little bit wider, but tries to keep his composure. And you can see like a bead of sweat like start forming on his brow. And he says, "Oh, but you don't want to be standing out in the street. Well, we'll get you into your quarters right away. We have a building set up just for you and your retinue. Please follow me." And he begins leading her off while trying to inform her of what's gone on, since mentions that they've just concluded the funeral, and that the Legion is working diligently to figure out what's happened, and then hopefully get the mine operational again. She seems very upset. You hear him apologizing and her yelling as they walk away.
This is gonna be good.
I would like to follow. I'm just gonna follow. I don't need to stay, but I'm going to follow with the retinue.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Yeah, the sergeant passes another member of the Legion, says something to him. He snaps to, salutes, and then begins like going around collecting members of the Legion. You guys are gonna have to meet up with the Baroness soon.
Fucking shite. Wait, I can use
So,
one of
yeah.
my terms. I go, this is an actual Scottish term that I found. I just go, lean over to Broden. She's up the high though, ain't she?
He just looks at you like, what?
No, she's up the high though.
Are you having a stroke? Oh. But yeah, eventually news comes to you all that your presence is requested at the residence that's been set up for the Baroness to inform her of everything that's gone on. Sarian, you're tangentially invited.
Okay. I will come too.
Yep.
So yeah, a few hours go by. You all arrive at the Baroness's. We'll call it a manor. It's really just an old building that has been swept clean. Yeah, you arrive at the Baroness's manor. One of her retinue greets you, requests that you leave your weapons with one of their people in the
Don't
front.
have any.
I hand him my horse-sized spear. And you can have a horse. And just like, here's this big giant piece of wood with a sharp metal blade on it. And I walk inside.
Okay.
I hand off my sword. If possible, I'll keep the dagger on, unless they're going to stop me.
Well, they're not gonna search you.
Yeah, they're not doing pat downs here. It's just
Yeah.
In which
They
case,
they would just expect you to hand it over, and if you don't, that's fine, as long as you.
I
Okay.
don't. It is
Sarian has
reasonably.
hands over nothing and doesn't appear to have any weapons on him.
Okay. Yeah, there may be
I
a test
promise
later.
I won't do any magic unless it is called for.
Gail, you're sort of a special case. You remember that
Yeah.
that big person in the heavy plate
He's standing next to me.
at all times.
All right. Good to meet you. How you doing?
You just receive a curt, and he like pushes you forward down the hallway with his shoulder.
I like you. We're gonna be good friends.
And yeah, you are led into a well-appointed room for Arendelle. Yeah, there's a long table, a bunch of chairs, of course.
rug?
Dominica, yeah, there's a nice woven
a
rug.
woven rug
There's
would
a-
be like a
there's a-
cool, nice thing to have.
Yeah, there's a woven rug underneath the table that comes out long enough that you can walk on it as you walk around the table. There's a fireplace crackling on the north side, on the northern wall, and of course the Baroness is sitting at the head of the table, fingers steepled as you all walk in. Her eyes are smoldering. She is angry. As you come in, you hear, "Take a seat, quickly. We have much to discuss."
Krim
Sarian-
automatically goes to reasonably closer to the head of the table and sits down there. And then second guesses herself.
I would like to sit as close to the Baroness as.
Okay, so
possible.
you
other
two
side
take
of the table.
different sides of the table.
Yeah.
And I probably
Right
sit
next to
like
her.
further away from her. The furthest out of us four. Maybe not if there are more people, but
You sit at
I
like the
will-
other end of the table, like
probably not
at
at
the
the other
opposite end?
head, but like farther away from her on the side of
Yeah.
the table.
Okay.
If this is like business stuff, I probably sent Broden to like go train with the Trixie, and then I just like I pull out a chair for the
Your
big
errand
man,
boy.
and then he doesn't probably sit down, so then I sit down in the chair.
Yeah, as soon as you sit down, he just stands right behind you, like uncomfortably close behind you.
Yeah. Can I get the
Uh,
massage while you're at it?
So
Or
who's the full list of the meeting? We have us four, big armored dude.
I'm assuming the
Baroness,
sergeant, or
and
did
a
he was
And-
it?
sergeant, the yet to be
This-
named sergeant.
The sergeant is pacing out in the hallway, trying to figure out whether or not he should walk in due to his last encounter with the Baroness. And he catches her eye for a second and decides, well, it's better to sit here and then be yelled at later. So he like comes in very sheepishly, sits across the table from Sarian, and does his best mouse impression, just trying to be as small and quiet as possible. The Baroness looks at all of you. There's a couple other members of the Legion that's fill in the rest of the chairs. And she looks across the assembled people here and says, well, it seems you have a chain of command issue. Which one of you will be taking the reins? Just dead silence.
Sarian like slowly raises his hand.
could we do like
Hesitantly?
a vote?
No, I have
or-
a question,
Oh,
Baroness.
all right.
I am not a member of the Onyx Legion, and I just arrived in town, and I'm just a simple doctor, giving her like, trying to give her a look without it making without making it look like everyone else, like I'm giving her a look. And I say,
Okay.
"Why am I here?"
You're here because I know of your skills. I also know that this town lacks any medical personnel worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm assuming the company has like some shitty medic person that like will stop you from dying of sword gashes, but like won't.
Yeah, they have a medic,
Some
which is not the
they have
same
a
as a
medic.
doctor.
Yeah.
Right. And she says, and I know of your connections. Of course, we've met before. And she gives you a smile that could be misinterpreted as a grimace. And she says, due to the situation we find ourselves in, we may be working together quite closely, Sarian.
I kind of want to see what she means when she says that. I don't know if this would be a test or not. Does she intend to out me as a spy for the Empire instead of more of a neutral person who happens to be from there, in front of the people in this room? If so, I just want to know if I should bother with my charade. She has that right. She can.
She does. But there's no like we've run into this problem before where there's no insight skill. You can use like falsehood.
I have falsehood. I have observation.
But if we just do a straight stat roll, like will versus will,
yeah, which I
think
lose,
that would work.
But okay,
yeah, probably. All right, so I will roll her will first, and you're gonna try to like determine her
determine
intentions.
determine if she wants me to just like say I'm a spy, basically.
Okay. I'll roll her with an obstacle of 1. It's an ob 4.
Okay.
Will test.
Okay. So ob 4. No modifiers for this. Don't think anyone's helping me. No Arthur to spend. Okay.
Okay. Mark the difficult test.
Did.
Okay. Oh, and also Indigo or Time. Mark
a challenging circles test.
Is circles one of the ones that you have to have a success on? I can never remember.
Resources you do. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I can't move my window
here
because
no circles is good. You can mark the test.
All right, sick. So challenging.
Yep.
Ooh, I am 1 test away from a better circle score.
Okay. So
yeah, you can't quite get a read on her, but she seems to be talking around it right now. Okay. So you feel fairly safe.
Okay, so then I'll keep playing the game. I say, of course, I am at your service, Baroness.
I expect you would be. So she turns to the rest of the Legion and says, well, a question was posed. I expect an answer.
We have I speak up and say, we have a procedure for this.
Oh, we lost a person. And he's back.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Why has this been happening all day?
We've had this for the last few meetings, too.
Yeah, that's Discord being weird.
Discord sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I expressed to her that we have a procedure where people need to submit their name forward in a power vacuum.
You put your name in the goblet of fire, and then whatever.
And whoever doesn't burn is captain.
Like the captain appoints after we have a captain, we don't do this dumb like process, but people have to like stand up and announce, and then we wait 3 days, and then basically whoever's still there.
She looks at you and
dropped out.
She looks at you and says, I assume this process has already started. It's been a few days since your captain.
I just had the funeral this morning.
Long sigh from her. Looks around the table again and says, first impressions, not impressive. I expect you to have this matter handled before tomorrow night. On to other things. The mine is the only reason that the dynasty gives a shit about this backwater. We need a plan. We need it reopened. I'm open to ideas. You don't have to raise your hand, just speak.
We're just trying to be polite. So that we know that engineer was also killed.
Chief, the chief engineer. We don't know if there are more.
Yeah. We also lost our chief engineer in the collapse, but without them, can't really go forward without risking more collapses.
And what does that matter? You have townsfolk here. Have them shift the rock. If there's another collapse, have more townspeople shift the rock.
Baroness, if there are too many collapses, we might damage one of the old buildings.
Besides,
We
isn't
don't
it a
want to
suitable
draw
grave?
a golem here.
Damnable things.
If we want it done right, we get another engineer, and then to work from there. But if we just throw bodies at it, not only will people die, but we'll add more collapses, and then it'll take longer to open.
I ask like you three, and the sergeant, I guess, which is probably going to be and the sergeant, I guess, might be just a phrase that continues.
And the sergeant, I guess.
Are there any survivors from the mine collapse?
No.
Do we know that for sure?
Any bodies
The
that you
sergeant
recovered?
None.
Sergeant looks over
No
at you
bodies,
and
no
says,
survivors.
the collapse was bad enough. We doubt anyone survived. Certainly not this long. It's pretty solid. It's probably airtight.
When did it happen? What time? 2 days ago, you said.
A few days ago. It's possible that there could still be people deeper in the mine. We don't know how far the collapse went.
Was there an
We know
explosion?
that the main supports for the entrance broke. I'm not really knowledgeable about mines. I know there was a loud noise, but that could have been an explosion or just what happens.
What doesn't matter how it
I
happened?
see.
What matters is that it did.
I gesture past
You
the
receive a
mason.
small smile from the Baroness when you cut to the quick like that.
And but however, I reply, sort of, I say, if you don't understand anything about how, then how can you fix it? Go around bumbling your way through the world. Well, that's why the golems are there. Take care of the
Need a miner to
bumblers.
fix it. None of us are miners. We're soldiers.
Right, and we don't know if this was an act of war or accident.
It's not our place. I know he was your father, so if
Regardless.
you want to, go ahead, but
Regardless of how it happened, the Baroness continues. The mine needs to be reopened. Whether it means we clear the rubble or start an entirely new one. We know where the vein is, we can get at it. This is of vital importance to the Undying Court. There are not many iron mines left after the war, and this one was rich. If you say we need more people, I will send for them.
Skilled.
Right. We have bodies, we need knowledge.
However, if we uncover foul play, if we send for people, they come, and we unbury the mine and we uncover foul play, that will be not looked favorably upon by my superiors. It will look bad for the Legion.
So there was no foul play. There was none.
While I do enjoy your unique view on the situation, if there was foul play, it will happen again. We know there's rebel activity, which leads me to my next point. The Legion must root out any and all resistance in the area.
It's part of the contract, isn't it?
That is
Yeah.
the contract. This is what you're paid for. And while I understand you are fairly new to the area, you have yet to learn the lay of the land.
So, well, shoot, I'm blanking on names because
Grim, Gale, Sarian.
yeah, Krim, you're you're in like the scout portion of our. I don't know.
Yep.
What's your job?
I have been recently reassigned, so right now I'm kind of in the same position as Sergeant, the random Sergeant. I have a rank, and I don't exactly have set. These are the duties.
Yeah. You don't have like a
Not like
position
a-
yet. You're
you're
just
not
like
Yeah.
you have your rank. Yeah.
You know,
I
like
have
the
that
outward
rank.
bound, like half of the company or whatever. So you're not specifically in charge of doing.
Yeah, this is the problem that you currently find yourselves in, is that the Dust Company was assembled because the Baroness was coming here, right? And you all have arrived fairly recently. Some people might have been in the area before, but fairly recently
Right.
you've assembled here.
Well,
And the
I
captain
need,
never organized you.
yeah, I need the person who's in charge of the scout platoon or whatever. I want them in this room.
You circles them again.
I don't know. Are they in this room? I feel like they'd be in this room. This seems to be the place.
Grim,
where they
are
would
you in
start
charge of the
to-
scouts?
I don't think so.
In the last 2 days, have you decided to take charge of the scouts?
I severely doubt it. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
maybe
Krim
there's
seems
just
the
no one in
type
charge
to-
of the scouts right now.
There's no one in charge of the scouts.
Yeah, those positions were never made
I would like
clear.
to turn back to Sergeant A. Can ask loudly to the room, what have your scouts uncovered about the rebels?
Yeah, the sergeant looks around again, begins sweating because, oh god, they're looking at me again. And says, well, from the reports that I've been privy to, we haven't noticed any movements or activity in the area. Not that that's uncommon, even in the most infiltrated of areas around here. The resistance blends in. I mean, they're from here. They know these towns. They know these people.
Sergeant, I just wanted to say that you have been doing an admirable job running things. And I think Sarian says a couple words. I think he's going to try and, make the sergeant look not as bad. I don't think he can do good, but not. He's been doing the best he can and doing a not so bad job, and trying to improve his standing with the Baroness. Like maybe you're not a complete idiot kind of standing.
Okay, so you're.
That's my intent to.
Oh yeah, you're making a roll of your speech to
I think
lessen
so.
the
There's just a few
shitty
sentences, I
impact
think.
he's had on the
Exactly,
on the Baroness.
to make him to try and make him less embarrassed and things like
Is
that.
there anti-helping in this game?
Anti-helping.
hindering.
That is, you'd increase the op by 1,
yeah,
I think.
I would like to hinder if we're gonna play this game.
Okay.
I mean, we can just do a versus test. Like
We
you're
could,
trying to
yeah.
make him look
Me versus
bad,
you.
He's trying to make him look good.
Yep.
Yeah, go for it.
This is good for me. I don't know what skill that is.
I think I'm going to use
Uh,
persuasion for
It
mine.
would- depends on what you're doing. I mean, if you're
I'm lying.
flat out lying about it, it's falsehood.
He's not in charge of whatever I said he was in charge of. Because no one is. Like, no one's in charge of the scout. So, like,
Okay.
putting him on the spot, it's like,
Just-
it's just
okay.
not his job, but it's still kind of his job, so it's plausible lie.
Figuring out what to fork.
Okay, so you can roll your falsehood.
Alright. Can I fork? I want to fork. He's a soldier, so can I fork soldier-wise?
Yeah, you can
Alright.
totally fork soldier wise.
I'm trying to persuade the Baroness, so can I fork persuasion?
Yeah, you can fork persuasion. and
I'm using
falsehood.
persuasion as my main skill, so yeah.
Okay. Can I fork conspicuous, because I want to talk louder than the nerd?
Nice.
I will say that we're gonna limit forks to to 2 unless there's a
Oh,
critical test.
I built my character
Fine,
around
I'll
forks.
for right now.
I'll fork 2 then.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
All right,
At least in the beginning, as we get more used to the
Be
system,
like,
that's
we
fine.
might
toss
increase
your
it. But
handful of forks.
I'm
Mhm.
forking my allotted 2 dice. Taste my
yeah,
wrath.
because there's a term that Luke uses called fork bitch, and it's trying to cram all of your skills into one roll.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do persuasion.
All right.
I like to fork etiquette because I'm trying to like say this in a polite way to make him look good.
Fancy.
And then I'm thinking, here's 2 options. One, I could do falsehood because time is lying.
Yeah, but are you lying?
I'm not, but falsehood is I think also used for knowing lies. Or I could do observation if I've watched what the sergeant's been doing over the last 2 days. I think falsehood is more applicable to this situation now, so that makes more sense.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and you're definitely embellishing, I think, because you haven't been here
I
that
am.
long. You don't know
Yeah, it's
how
half and
effective
half.
this sergeant is. Yeah.
Okay, so persuasion modifier is 2 for the 2 forks, and base obstacle is 2. Okay, and then I think,
Yeah, so
and then it's against difficulty 3 for your test, which I think would be
I rolled first.
challenging for falsehood, because
yes.
Oh, it's against 3, so I got a
Oh,
challenge.
it's 3 dice versus obstacle 3, so that's even up.
oh, you're right, it's 3 dice, so it's difficult. Challenging, I think,
it's
is always higher.
Yep.
In mine's routine.
It's a difficult test for
My,
falsehood. and a
my
routine
skills
for
suck,
persuasion.
okay? My stats suck, my skills suck.
That's fine. That's the intent.
So yeah, you talk up the sergeant a little bit, and you do notice that the Baroness acquiesces a little bit. She looks at the sergeant and says, I understand you've been under a tremendous amount of pressure since your leadership has been unfortunately dispatched. You're doing the best you can under these circumstances. I will not apologize, but I will say I should have given you a little more leeway.
I let the sergeant like accept that. Or
Yeah,
like,
he puffs up a little bit. He's not as deflated as he was before. And that emboldens him a little bit, and he goes on a bit more in detail about what he does know. Which again isn't much. There's been a general state of confusion since the captain and the lieutenant
there's been more
were killed.
general rumors, non-specifically of rebel activity,
Mhm.
but nothing more.
Yeah. Everybody's very paranoid about rebel activity, and he can't distinguish what's just paranoia and fear over what's actually been happening.
I could see if I could get together with Trixie and see if we can wizard some shit together.
You two should talk to the people. I'm not in a position to do that. I'm just looking to like the 4 mercenaries here. Get some people to start clearing the mine. Find someone knowledgeable. The engineer probably had an apprentice or a colleague of some kind. This is
Very well put, Sarian. But I think that's more of a job for you. These people don't know who you are, where you come from. If you don't tell them where you come from, you can more easily ingratiate yourself. All of the rest of these people are wearing, let's just say they're wearing targets on their backs. And she points to the tabards. These people have been recently conquered.
Yeah.
More than likely, they will not respond well to talking to their oppressors.
We haven't quite won the hearts and minds.
in time. As I said, Baroness, there's just like if you know Sarian, which I think just the Baroness here does, there's a bit of like gritting of teeth under in that tone. He says, "I am at your service."
as expected.
Right,
Wow.
so are we done here? Or?
I think
Yes,
I'm doing
I'll
all the
give
work.
I'll give you all 24 hours. Come back tomorrow night with a plan and hopefully more information.
She wants a captain in 24 hours. Like she wants us.
Yep. She wants you to settle your issue by tomorrow
Who
and
is
begin moving forward.
who are the reasonable people that could be captain? We have like a list. We have a short
Let's
list.
figure that out as we go. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think. Do we all leave?
I'm gonna stay
You're-
behind.
You are dismissed officially.
Okay.
But you
I
can
would like to.
do as you wish.
I'd like to follow the sergeant around for a couple hours.
With whoever is like, as soon as we leave, whoever's around me, especially the sergeant, and especially Gale, but he's staying behind, so not him. I say, that was before we get started. I could use a drink.
Considering the place that I was headed was the bar, was
Okay.
I'll meet you there. I gotta.
Everyone else like looks at time.
I'm following the sergeant.
Okay.
Follow
I
around.
hope I would like if the sergeant won't already, I'm gonna try and persuade him, but he might already. What do you think?
Yeah, he
It's been a stressful day.
he waits for the rest of you to leave.
I don't.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
go first.
time stays behind, but he waits for the bulk of the people to leave, and then walks out as if to go begin doing everything the Baroness says. Like walks in a different direction towards where the barracks is for the Legion, and then you guys get to the bar. We'll just say that.
He
Oh,
looks
I
like
was-
With him?
No, you all arrive at the bar. Time you're following the sergeant for
Yeah.
the meantime.
Okay.
Oh, I
But,
was
yeah.
waiting behind with the Baroness. I was
Oh,
waiting
okay.
So I
for
think
everyone
right now
else
it's
to get
just
up
me and
leave.
Krim at the bar. We get there first.
I say I'm gonna
Krim
meet you
and Zarian
later,
head to the
basically.
bar.
Yeah.
Okay, Krim and Zarian head to the bar. Gale, you're staying behind.
Yeah.
What's your plan here?
I just wait for everyone to filter out as fucking the mountain stands behind me. And I'll just sort of wait, and then I'll go, because I wanna, if there's anything off the books you need done. I don't know how much you've heard about what I do, but need some information out to people. Typically, fire does wonders.
She gives you a little smirk and says, I've been fully apprised of the more exceptional members of your company, which is why those assembled here were called.
What was it? Trixie called to this, or was she not? Because that would be very
Uh,
interesting to me.
No, because Trixie's not technically a member of the Dust Company. She's your instructor, so she's in the area, and she's got enough freedom that she doesn't need to be in any specific place.
Right. Okay. I have my apprentice. Don't know what title that would be quite yet. And then Trixie's in the area. So you have a small little cadre of wizards.
Yes, I seem to have quite the arsenal at my disposal. And when she says that, she's not looking at you; she's looking at the guy behind you.
the big guy
No.
made of undead flesh.
Let you know. You have fire on your side, and I'll go to stand up and see if the big man will let me pass.
Yeah, he pulls the chair out as you stand up. He's very polite about it. He's not trying to be an ass, but he's trying to be imposing.
Yeah.
Um,
I like you. I will be your friend one day.
He blows you a kiss. No. Yeah, but no, he leads you out a bit more relaxed with you now, since the Baroness seems to be okay with you being around.
Hmm.
Yeah, opens the door for you, lets you out.
I got another phrase for him. As I leave, I say, "Long may you lumreek," and I
That's
walk
the
to the
drinking
bar.
phrase. That's not a.
I heard it means basically live long and prosper, so
No,
that's why I
it's
wrote it down.
may your hearth stay warm.
Oh. Mm.
Oh, that's even better for a fire sorcerer.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
cheers. You do it. It's salute. It's the same shit.
Okay.
Not
We're
a
learning.
guitar
I s-
phrase.
I say salute to him
Well,
as I leave.
this is he's not technically Scottish. He's fantasy weird thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
it could
Yeah.
be a
but
goodbye.
like that your lumreek is Scottish like in real life.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're bending it to our purpose.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, he kind of like cocks his head to the side a little bit at that one as the door closes.
Yep. I go to the bar.
Okay.
All right.
That wasn't. We probably just arrived a few minutes ago, so I don't think we have to have a scene before you get there.
I'm probably only like a minute or two behind.
Yeah. You get there.
We're sitting at like
Yeah,
a table in a corner.
The three of you are at the bar.
Okay.
Drinks
is a
are
place-
served.
This is a place where I'm very comfortable and whatnot. So.
Oh yeah. When Krim walks in, several of the other ones like raise a glass, yell her name,
Hey,
Norm, that kind of thing.
Grim.
The rest of the show is just cheers. All further scenes will take place in this bar.
All future scenes are bar scenes.
So I think, yeah, I think probably after Gale gets there, I say, so, Krim, what is it exactly that you do? It wasn't clear. Time for all of his faults seems motivated. Let's call him that. Is it a him?
Times they them.
Them? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For all their faults.
I think before Krim has a chance to answer, like one of the regulars walks by, like slaps her on the shoulder and is like, she drinks. Just keeps walking by.
I give a little bit of a smile of that and wave at them, and then turn back to Sarian and say, "That is about right. So far, I was reassigned here. Not much else has been told to me yet. I mean, I'm a sergeant, and that's about it."
Well, I look at Gale, like, is it obvious on his face that there's more to the story? Might start pressing if, okay.
Not that I know. I was gonna have a bar scene with her to ask.
Okay. So yeah, I ask Krim, like, well, how did you become a sergeant? I mean, your name is a bit familiar.
Well, I'm not originally, I guess, from this company. I came from another one more recently. Don't know if my name be that familiar, but I was a captain over, and I have no idea what company this name is.
Some other place. It doesn't matter. Fuck it.
Yeah, you can.
The
You can
Dawn
This
just,
other
Company.
place.
the Ash Company, something like Ash is way too poignant, but
On
maybe.
the nose. The Ash
Well, we'll see-
Company,
we'll-
and well,
actually,
things
we'll
didn't
say-
go so well there. So I'm here now. And I kind of wait for another drink. Or finish the one that I've got.
They know you well enough. They see the angle at which the mug is, and they just bring it over.
That Ash Company. I assume I would have heard about this. Like, this is the
Rumors and let's. Do
Okay.
you have like a court gossip wise or anything?
the closest I have is I have Rebel Wise and Noble Wise. That's it.
No.
So
Um,
perhaps not. Perhaps it might be opening a skill.
Yeah, if you want to try to open court gossip wise,
Yeah,
like
okay.
that's where you
History
would
of
have
the
heard
Last
this.
War, or History of the Last War wise.
Yeah,
That's more
whatever,
interesting to
whatever.
me. History of the
Yeah,
last
whatever
war
wise
wise.
you wish. Yeah.
So, history of the last war, based
It's an
on
obscure history, not
perception.
A lot, but whatever.
Perfect. So yeah, I just want to know, like, I guess what do I want the ob to be? I'm trying to think. Do I want to know specific about Krim or just about the battle? I don't think I know that much about Krim. I wouldn't have like researched her. So,
How would you have researched her? You can't go on Facebook.
Well, I mean, out of character, I'm a spy who came here with the intent of finding out rebels, and Krim is someone who, if anyone might have worked with rebels, it would be her. So
you did go on Facebook, but it's the one in your pocket.
that's true. Actually, you're right. There's no like official court records. There's no
It'll be a
archives.
little notebook that you have all your notes in if you researched her. Facebook.
Yeah. So I think my intent then would be to know the official reason she was reassigned. Like like maybe I shouldn't. I definitely shouldn't have. But I have like I got a copy of her transfer paperwork, like a while back, like that kind of thing. Where I don't know any of the unofficial stuff. I just know what was written down on paper, and that's the like closest thing.
And Krim, that particular event would have been, let's say, catastrophically awful. Like, is that a
pretty
good
much.
descriptor?
Catastrophically
Okay.
awful sounds about right.
I'm going to unintentionally poke that wound. It's going to be glorious.
Okay. So I think that'd be details ob 3.
Okay, which gets doubled to 6.
Yep.
Okay.
For being learned, it is double obstacle.
Gail, are you helping at all, or not, or do you intend to?
I don't know if I want to necessarily help. I just want to listen in to see what she says.
Yep. Then I will just roll it as is. Base obstacle is 6. No additional complications. It doubled itself.
Base obstacle, base obstacle is base. It will double itself when you roll it.
Okay, let's keep that roll. I'm just gonna re-roll it for my own calculation of difficulty.
Fair.
Okay. So yeah, I fail either way.
Yeah. You're not quite sure that you heard something about Ash Company, but you never heard what happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think then I'd say like I something happened to them. What I look at Gail, you can speak if you want to. I was just gonna ask what happened and like press her.
I have obscure history. Could I like see if that jogs my noggin?
Obscure history is more. It wouldn't cover this event. It's more weird facts about stuff that happened long ago.
You know the year the bidet was invented.
Yeah, that would definitely be obscure history. So then I think I asked him like something happened to them, didn't they? What happened to them?
They're all dead now.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. They're all dead now.
How did You're not dead.
No, really?
No shite, Sherlock.
Sorry, that one's...
No, that was an appropriate response. Sarian says. So what do you do now?
I think you already got the answer to that one, because I'm helpful.
I can tell. Okay.
Uh,
I think if you are good with it, Marissa, I might try to make a social test to like get you to do a truthful outburst about like yourself. So I want to annoy you into actually giving me an answer.
Annoy me, eh? Okay.
Yes. Can
Well,
I do that?
You're on the way. So...
Oh. This I would definitely help with. Because Gale loves chaos.
Good. Good. Okay. So I think if you want to, like, you can just do that if you were just allowing, like, or if you want to make a check, you can try and roll to not get annoyed, and a test based on it. Would that just be will to not get annoyed? Like, that's not a skill, is it?
Yeah, not really. I mean, yeah, the test would be versus her will. I think
Okay.
that would be the
That makes
op.
more sense. So it's just her flat out will versus whatever I can do. All right.
Yep.
Annoying is sadly not a skill.
It is.
Persuade is it? What?
Ugly truth is kind of annoying.
Actually I almost took ugly truth, but I didn't.
I have ugly truth.
Do you want to?
Okay, so you can help with ugly truth.
Yeah.
I was
You
gonna
can
help
help
with
with ugly-
sorcery instead
How?
by using evoke to fuck with her drinks, like get them just out of the way of her reach, like when she sets them down.
Like keeping them away from her drinks away from her until she tells the truth. Oh,
just so like just to like dig in that little needle, just like she goes to reach for it and it like just is outside of her grasp, and
that's
just
And like you just
mean.
keep moving away from her hand.
yeah.
All right, I dig that.
Okay, I think would persuasion work, or should I do ugly truth?
I think you're trying to persuade her to tell the truth. Persuasion isn't necessarily being nice.
Okay.
Sure, I'll
Okay.
allow
So
persuasion.
how does helping work?
You just
You say you help
for the skill you're using.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
what's the number on the skill?
My
What's
sorcery
your
skill?
sorcery?
Gray 4.
4. All right, so you add 1 die.
Okay, I'm seeing what
to
I
the
can
roll.
fork. The
Does
only
the
thing
shade
I
not
can
matter?
shade I don't think matters.
Okay.
Not
for
in a,
help.
I don't think in a helping test. I've
Not
never
for
actually done that.
exponents. Not
Yeah.
for exponents.
The only thing I think of for forking is observation, like reading her body language, knowing what's getting her more annoyed and what things to say, and like pressing on it, or calling her out on it in the way that's even more annoying.
Let's see. Observation is the skill to spot hidden.
Yeah, I don't know if
Stuff.
observation's body language or just seeing.
Yeah.
If it's a no, that's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a no.
Okay, so just +1 from help. 4 dice, 4 ob. Do this. Ooh!
Wow. All right. Congratulations. Yeah. Since Marissa, since you agreed to the test, you divulged the information.
Do you
All
like?
right. What
Yeah.
specifically was it that you were wanting to know?
I wanted to know, not like specific, but I just wanted to know how, like,
Mhm.
the details to some degree of what happened that are, like, why are you here? Specifically, what happened to the Ash Company that got them all killed, and why are you alive and transferred here?
And remember, you were annoyed into
You are
telling them.
probably,
this, so-
like,
so
furious
feel,
at this point.
Feel free to play in the space.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm sort of trying to grab after the dog, which is not cooperating, I'm presuming.
Yeah, I got my hands like this and I'm just wiggling my fingers.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
And I am kind of like, I'm going to just get louder and louder and, let me see how I can speechify this. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. While this information is being delivered from Krim, the sergeant does walk in shortly, like during that, and time you're not far behind him.
Doing for the
He was making a circuitous route so that none of the Baroness's people saw him go to the ball.
So he didn't actually get any work done.
No, he was just making
Yeah.
it look like he was going to go do something important, then came back to the bar.
Did he notice you following him the whole time?
Give me a
Inconspicuous roll, of course.
Yeah, you have that.
inconspicuous or stealthy. Yeah, one of the two.
I'm going to
That's-
fork stealth.
If you okay, so
Stealth,
if
he
that's your
doesn't see you in the
intent to
first
stay
place.
hidden amongst the other people, sure.
It's not so much be like hidden, but more just like he doesn't notice that he's been
Oh,
followed.
That
the
feels
whole time.
specifically like inconspicuous over stealthy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I was leading up to it. Yeah, I just wanted to watch him to see if he got any work done between leaving the meeting and joining the other degenerate leaders company.
Okay.
Yeah.
And inconspicuous is not
Mention
going to
the drink
contest it. I'm going to
once
say
and
that.
everyone shows up.
I'm just sorry. I'm just getting your ob here.
All right. I think it's first there, like observation.
I can remember my alphabet. All right, here we go. Yeah, it's untested versus against observation. She doesn't have observation. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's ob 2.
Ob 2. All right.
Ob 2. And sorry, Marissa, feel free to.
Okay,
failed.
I've got a speechify.
I failed the roll.
We'll get to that.
I have one more
Power.
modifier. Damn it.
Okay, sorry, that's my go. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of getting a little bit frustrated. I'm like, they're all dead. Okay. I was a captain. The Emperor came and they told us to take out the rebels, and that's what we were supposed to be doing. But we couldn't do it, and so they told us, well, if you can't find the rebels, you just kill everyone. And and then the rebels, they attacked us, and they all died. We all died, and the dynasty, well, they reinforced us after that, but well, Broden and I were some of the only ones left. So they didn't know what to do, so I guess they decided to blame it on me for a bit, scapegoat, I don't know, and they sent us here. That's it. That's everything, okay?
Look, you're probably like standing out of like you've probably stood as part of this.
Yeah.
I'm guessing not all, but probably some of the bar people are like watching you.
Oh,
Really?
the bar went completely silent when she was yelling, "The Empire said kill everyone." The Dynasty said kill everyone.
Oh.
Entire bar shuts up because the Baroness just showed up, and now they're like, what?
Drink the rest of it in a big drink.
Yeah.
If I can reach
Sarian
my
and I are
cup
just
now
like,
and I realize this, I am drinking, thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, Sarian.
Once you do that, the cup just slide. Like if your hands are open anywhere near the cup will slide into your hand.
Drink, thank you.
If everyone's looking, do I have to? My instinct is to always be inconspicuous. I don't want them to realize I'm drinking with a bunch of mercs, or like to remember specifically that it was me drinking with a bunch of mercs. Is that a
If
test?
I'm standing next to you, I'm conspicuous and I'm literally scaled.
Yes, which means they'll be looking at you, not at me. It's not.
Hopefully they're looking
It's not
at
they
me.
don't notice us; it's that they don't remember me specifically.
Yeah, I'm kind of memorable.
Yeah, go ahead and roll inconspicuous. We'll see.
Okay,
we'll
and this is my
we'll
intent
see
is
if
like,
they
yeah,
remember.
no one remembers that I'm friends with the mercenaries
Yeah, I would like to help him with my conspicuous.
by drawing attention to. Yeah, that's fair.
By drawing attention to
think
him.
that's up to
Probably right
seven.
after this, I go, and another round. Just really like,
Okay,
Mm,
does that work?
okay, I'm wondering if that's actually help. But well, I'm wondering
trying to draw attention to me.
on a metagame level, like, does Gale realize that Sarian is trying to not be noticed?
Oh, is
and
it
not
intentional? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
that's
true.
more,
Conspicuous
is that
not
actually help?
I could just mention it. Like maybe I just
It's
say
getting
like to Gale like.
Well, I know that the Baroness wants him
Yeah,
to.
that's what I would
integrate.
say. The Baroness said that I need to talk to people.
That okay, that's
Yeah.
reason enough. Sure, I'll buy that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we'll learn from him if there's any rebel activity. I don't know anything about like him being a spy or anything.
Okay.
I assume now you're a new spy because the Baroness told you to be a doctor.
Exactly.
spy.
That's it. I'm a doctor who's been
I'm
ordered to be
I'm
a spy.
throwing you a bone.
Can I fork falsehood? Because obviously I'm trying to present a false image of myself. I would spend part of my time probably literally not with you guys. Like occasionally I'll go up to the bar or like walk around and join some tables, and then happen to meander back to your table.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like.
Oh, like during the rant, you just start like backing up.
I don't think during the
as
rant. This
eyes,
is
like-
more of a like if we spend the whole night here, then during parts of the night he'll like leave and come
Okay,
back.
so this is the full. You spend the full night trying to make it look like you're not.
I'm just
friends with these
here and
people.
getting to know everyone, and yeah, I guess I sat at their table for some of the night, but
Yeah.
that's just because
You talk to the mercenaries because your dad worked with them and you want to learn more about
exactly.
your dad.
I'm not one of them. I'm just kind of.
Okay, yeah. Then if you're going around talking to people throughout the night, yeah, this is a long test, but yes, it's
It is.
Yeah, you can.
This is meant to be a background. Like we'll have more tests and scenes and talks during the night, and this is taking place in the background. Okay,
Yep.
so modifiers 2. What would the obstacle be for this?
Probably the average of their perceptions of 4.
Ooh,
Big perception average.
The small folk will remember.
Is it,
that was
I
a
thought
terrible roll.
conspicuous was verse observation. I thought we just looked that up.
It is, but the intent of this roll isn't really to
I would have failed either way, frankly.
blend into a crowd. It's more for them to not notice.
Not remember.
It's
him,
not remember an
basically.
individual versus blending into a
Yeah.
crowd.
So, but the average score would be halved, right? Because it's stat.
Yeah, because it's their observation.
It's skill
Yeah,
Either way, I
versus
still would have
stat.
failed because there
yeah,
would have
it's
been 2.
still a failure, but
I'm
yeah,
just saying it's not a.
and it's
Fair.
still a routine test.
It's still routine. I was gonna say like it would affect the
Yeah, okay.
record bit.
No, good catch.
'Kay.
Keep on me
I
with
know.
that.
So I
stuff,
tried
because
anyways, but
a lot of
any
moving parts here.
half more than half of the tables I go to are like, so how about those mercs? And I just can't get them.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
learn it.
They
learn the
associate
game
me
too.
with them now.
If we are doing tests and whatnot after that outburst, I am trying so hard to get drunk.
Okay,
Ooh.
That's a.
that
That
there.
would- Do you have that skill?
There is a
I think
drinking
that-
If
skill.
only
I
you
have
had
the skill
drunking.
drinking
No,
and
drinking.
wine.
Drinking is not getting drunk. Have you read the drinking skill?
It's technically handling
explicitly-
your
No,
alcohol.
it's explicitly drinking without getting drunk. There's a dwarven skill for drunking. Is the skill
Is
for
doing
getting
shit
drunk.
while being drunk.
No, it's getting drunk as fast as possible.
But that's a
Oh.
dwarf only skill.
It's a dwarf
It
only
is.
skill to get drunk as fast as
That's
possible.
amazing.
That is just depressing. So depressing. All right.
So yeah, you can roll the skill, but you just want to fail. Like
Yeah, you
that's
have to
what you
choose
want to
to
do.
fail it.
You
Don't
wanna
fork
fail-
anything.
In which case, sure, I will work with that.
Uh,
Bob, I guess.
What are the drinking
Man, can
items?
I help with this test too by literally just feeding her drink?
Well, she wants to fail it, so you can hinder it
hindering.
by giving her a higher
Yeah,
obstacle.
that's what I meant. I meant hinder it by feeding her drinks, not help her.
All right, we'll
Help
put
her
a plus
fail.
1 up on it. And normally I would just say yes to this, but it's the first session. I want to get people used to rolling and everything.
Also, I find it interesting
Um,
if it's like, I want to get drunk, but I can't.
My
Why?
tolerance is too high.
Let's see, drinking.
Like, it might just be-
obstacle. The skill is best used as a drinking test between drinkers. Okay.
All
I
right.
feel like you just.
It might
get
just be
drunk.
yes, you do, or yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
I'll
I'm just
try
gonna
a
say
test, but
yes.
apparently failing. Oh well.
With time and dedication, anyone can get drunk.
In which
Anyone
case,
can
I'll
get the
just,
drinking skill.
You
It's
just,
enough
you
tests.
just gotta mean it.
I will
But-
attempt to be drunk, and if anything else happens after that, and there are any responses, I will respond.
Mhm.
So the sergeant and time arrive, I think.
Yeah, the sergeant comes in mid rant to a dead silent bar.
Um, you hear splintering. I'm assuming because I felt my inconspicuousness. You hear splintering of like a door frame shortly after the sergeant comes in, as I have got my spear jammed in the door frame.
He looks back and says,
Wedge it out.
I think, yeah, the sergeant looks back at time and says, you've been following me for a little while there. Why don't you come up and have a drink with me?
I leave the spear in the door. And then go to bar.
One of the barmaids goes over and begins trying to pull the spear out of the door frame so they can close the door. Eventually she does and like falls backwards into a group of people, knocks over a table. Drinks go
Table
everywhere.
breaks.
If she's struggling for
Table
a
breaks.
long time, I'll go over and help her with magic because I always do magic.
Okay. Yeah, you go over and what do you aid? What is that? Is that what
I-
you're gonna do?
No, I just evoke again. I just pull it
evoke
from. Yeah, just
Okay, yeah. So that's what happened. I'm just gonna say yes to that. That's what happens. She's pulling on it, can't quite get it, and as she's straining really hard, you cast the magic and it comes out of the door frame. She flies backwards.
I didn't do anything.
But yeah, the sergeant invites Time to come up to the bar, get a drink, and that's when like he notices the rant going on and gets a drink, hands it to Time, and once everything sort of settles back down, looks around the bar and says, "What? You've never heard a mercenary with war stories before? Get back to your drinks." Walks over, plunks his drink down on the table. Time, do you follow over?
Yeah, I joined the group. I just really wanted to see what the sergeant was gonna. That was my whole point here. I wanted to see if he was going to be a functional person or just be kind of shit.
He's a functional alcoholic.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I feel like most of us are in this.
I have a friend.
I'm trying to assess
Yep.
sergeant.
Yeah, so the sergeant sits down, looks at all of you, and says, "That Baroness is going to be on our ass."
I say
Yeah.
yes.
Tell me about it.
So,
No.
We're gonna need to do something, and I've talked to most of the others around here. We've got a couple of new recruits and a couple of guys that, well, to be perfectly honest, they're not going to do any more than they have to. So it looks like it's up to us. And he sort of side-eyes Sarian and you two, I suppose.
I guess I'm roped into this too.
I ask him what he's implying.
Sins of the father.
I don't know
What
if
I'm
I believe
implying
that.
is that we need to suss out this leadership position.
Hmm.
I
think
address the sergeant and I'm like, well, why don't you do it? You seem to be doing well enough.
Yeah. Baroness and I go a bit further back. I could, well, if she's here long term, I could pull some strings. I just raise a singular eyebrow.
He looks at Krim with like just a hopeless look on his face and back over to Sarian and I would throw my hat in the ring, and if you could help me keep my balls attached exactly where they are with that woman, I'd appreciate it. But I mean, I probably am one of the more experienced people in the company at this point.
Does
I
he lack
guess it should be
experience?
me.
Does he have the scars of experience?
He's a weathered middle-aged guy. Yeah, he's got that look about him that he's seen some shit.
Okay.
And he has now put himself in the forefront of contention specifically
That's
as far as
That-
you're concerned, Time.
10%. He's in the forefront of contention. All right.
Yes.
All right. Listen. I think. So I say one thing. I say like if I know the Baroness. It's a long story, but if you need, I basically give like a few tips on how to like manage her. Might be the right way to do it. Like I like how to make her think that she has you under her thumb, or how to annoy her if you want to do something. Like I'm giving the basics of like how to deal with her as
Yeah, I'm
a
nodding
handler.
along.
Yeah, I'm definitely listening to this also.
But my intent is to get the sergeant to like. I think it's too strong to be. Oh, let's do it. I want him to be like, to feel like he needs me if he's going to be captain.
Okay.
Because
So you're trying to
I want him on
you're
my
trying to
side,
make
but
him-
in a like
Right.
I want him to think that it like if he's going to be captain, he needs me and he wants to like. Yeah, he's going to listen to me.
Okay. Sounds like persuasion.
I will have him wrapped around my finger.
Yeah,
Well, I
it
am
sounds
actively
like
doing the opposite, so
What would failure be?
Persuasion makes sense, yeah.
the failure for this would be that he doesn't trust you.
That's
that he
fair,
sees
yeah.
through
He's
you.
like, I know way too much about her for a doctor, like kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It could be that.
But he'll see through the ruse and be like, "You're manipulating me, you little shit." Like
That's fair, yeah. I'm looking at him just a bit too much, stuff like that. Can I fork in intrigue-wise and noble-wise, since the Baroness and it's like manipulating her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know how nobles operate. You know what strokes their ego.
Could I? Well, I don't. No, I'm not gonna hinder this because I don't know that you're doing like.
If you could, if you want to, like
wanna help.
try to suss me out. But yeah, you can also help.
I
I
wanna
can't
help.
really suss you out anyway.
I
I
mean,
wanna help
you
him off
could,
his ego.
yeah. If you don't think that the sergeant should be in that position, you can hinder in that regard. You can be like, no,
Oh.
he's not good for the position, whatever.
Yeah, I would
this
put
isn't
myself for
specifically
that
about
position.
that. Yeah, this isn't about the position. This is more like I'm saying it to everyone. I'm looking at the sergeant a bit more than everyone else. Like, if you're gonna be captain, this is what you got to do.
Yeah, I think
Hypothetically,
Gale would. Because do we know like what's protocol for if someone dies without like a successor? Is it just like does it get put up to a
I
vote?
don't think do they get to name successors?
I don't know.
And within the company, like this would be common knowledge for the mercenaries. Within the company, when the leadership dies, it's usually a battlefield promotion to the most senior member because you're in the middle of a battle and you cannot be leaderless.
Right.
However, in peacetime, it being that the Onyx Legion is a meritocracy, it usually gets decided amongst the company itself who is the most able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your goal for the persuasion is what? So I know if I want to help or not.
I want to get the sergeant to feel like he needs me and my help and to be on my good side.
No, I don't care about that.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah.
but what time is hearing is this is how you ingratiate yourself with
Yes.
the Baroness and be an effective
Yes.
leader as far as
I am saying
Yeah,
that,
you know,
and it
dealing
is
with her.
true, but my intent is to like, hey, Sergeant,
Yeah.
you were embarrassed by the Baroness, and then I helped you I made you look slightly better in front of her. I know what I'm talking about. Listen to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I'm paying
This
close
would-
attention, but I'm not gonna help with the persuade roll.
Okay.
yeah. I don't know if this would be me actively hindering, but I would basically point out like, yeah, dude, he was like you kind of like made yourself look like a fool. So maybe someone who isn't like a fool should be running the shit. Like,
That's fair. Yeah, that could help or hinder, honestly. If he made himself look like a fool, then it could reinforce that he needs me. Depends. But I think your point is different. Your point is that he shouldn't be doing it in the first place, rather than
yeah.
whether or not my intent is related to his relationship to me.
Yeah, your intent is more getting him on your side. Mine is more like he shouldn't be in that position in the first place. Like he shouldn't be considered.
Yeah,
I think in that point it's two separate tests against
I think it would be
the sergeant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to help Gale. I want to
Okay.
bash his ego.
And
not
mine would
working.
be probably
so,
against.
Yeah, go ahead.
Should we do them
Yeah, go.
at the same time or one or the other?
Yeah, it's two separate roles. Go ahead and go first.
Okay.
Sarian.
What's the
And,
obstacle?
he's not a burn character, so 4.
Okay.
It's his average will of normal
we go.
people. Okay. Yeah, he picks up what you're laying down, like,
Mhm.
and feels a bit more confident walking in there and being like, I'm the leader now.
Well, he feels like he needs Sarah.
If I got his back, then yeah, he feels more confident.
Yeah. Yeah, he turns to you and says, you seem to know a lot about this courtly bullshit. I'm just a fighter.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it.
I'm a warrior. I don't deal with this.
Okay.
But if
well,
you can guide me through,
it's.
yeah, maybe I should do it.
I think you'd be good at it. It's a lot easier than it looks on the outside. You just need a bit of practice.
Oh man, there's 2 skills I could do that like would be the base, but I could fork anyone. I'm thinking either intimidation or ugly truth. Intimidation is like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, ugly truth?
Probably ugly truth.
Yeah, ugly truth said forcefully can fork intimidation, you know.
Okay, yeah, I think that's probably the way I'm gonna roll with it.
I'm wondering
is
if
ugly
Krim
truth.
has an opinion.
I'm helping Bash's
My
ego.
opinion
We lost
is
video.
basically
Video's
just
frozen.
yeah. Do you still have voice?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can still hear you.
Okay. In which case, Discord will drop eventually, but not yet. My opinion is I am desperately trying to stay out of this. I really don't care. It's anyone so long as it's not me. So as Sarian's trying to, try and get him to need Sarian, I am actively doing the opposite. I am trying to get him to not.
Oh, I think we did lose
Now,
her.
I think that's the drop
Now-
moment.
I think the point was that she's trying to not have
Not-
the captain rely, or to have the sergeant rely on her.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's where that was going.
Eschew all responsibility. Okay.
Yep.
Then
That's
it's
fair.
just you two.
Yeah,
We're
I think
trying to make him feel bad so he doesn't try.
I'm doing ugly truth, forking intimidation. Could I? This is gonna be a weird one. Could I fork in strategy games?
Totally. Yeah. This is totally a chess move, sure. Because you want the position, right? Like that's what you're
Yeah.
angling for now.
I
Yeah.
see.
I want to posit that he has not met all of the battle requirements.
Well, I think that would itself would be a skill.
doesn't have-
Like you can't say
It's
that.
a lie.
Oh, yeah, okay. So not
It's a lie.
pause it in character, not pause it in real life. I
I'm
see.
positing in character as my helping die for Gale's role that he doesn't have enough
Yeah.
Chivos to be captain anyway.
But I beat 5 men in 1-on-1. One of them didn't count. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, Chivos,
One of them was already injured.
yeah.
Two of them were invalids. They were in wheelchairs.
One of
What are you
them-
talking about?
One of them had a stomach ache and like was really not fighting at their best.
Yeah.
One of
So
them was
you're-
left-handed, so it's not a true fight.
Yeah.
Southpaws don't count. So you're
Yeah.
using what, falsehood as
Yeah,
the skill to
falsehood.
help?
I'm
Okay.
going to
And
gaslight
you're
him. I'm trying to gaslight him
Gaslight him.
into not applying for the job.
and your exponent in that is 4 or lower? 1. Okay. If it's
So-
5 or higher, you help with 2 dice. That's why I asked
okay.
what the exponent is.
So,
if I was helping
I
with
would-
spear, you'd be golden, but no. So
I don't think Golden's not here. What are you talking about?
I mean, it would be great if I was helping with spear, but that's all I got. That's higher than 5.
So I click ugly truth, and then I add 3 to modifiers.
It's your forks and the helping dice. So yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And what button do I click for my reward for helping?
You will mark the test as if you rolled it against the obstacle, which is 5 now with the
Hmm.
+1 from
Oh, I
the
didn't do that
persuasion.
when I helped. So just Snow Artha.
But when you hinder, you don't. You just hinder.
Right, I did one helping one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
I don't
was that?
remember.
Did you help
Oh,
with my
you're-
with my inconspicuous? Did that go through?
No, it was with sorcery that you helped.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah,
helped
okay.
with
You helped in my
persuasion.
persuasion. My success. It was against Ob 4.
With the evoke,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So base obstacle for this is 4 still.
The base obstacle is 4 +1 ob for the successful persuasion from
So
Sarah.
5.
Yes.
Probably failing. Yep.
Uh,
Can't wait till we have Artha.
So what do I mark? Do I mark
you're
sort of
gonna
difficult
okay, so
test?
you're gonna mark your falsehood as if you rolled against obstacle 5. So your ob is greater than your
Challenge, yeah.
dice. That's a challenging test.
So, and then for the persuasion, I would mark my sorcery like a before.
For Ugly Truth.
Yep.
Oh, for my persuasion, yes.
For yours, yeah.
Sorcerer versus Ob 4. What's your sorcery?
Gray 4.
It's probably difficult
So it's
then.
a difficult test.
Difficult test.
Cool. Okay. And then did I not help with your inconspicuous with me
We
being
talked about it, but
conspicuous?
Sen said that we ended up rejecting it.
Okay.
Yeah, roll
Yeah,
difficult.
because you wouldn't really.
Yeah.
No, remember,
well-
because then I said I would know to help him because the Baroness said integrate himself with the locals.
Okay. I think he's right, because
Right.
I have +2 modifiers, and my only thing was falsehood is my only fork, so I got 1 help.
Yeah. So,
So then,
yeah. Would
So-
have been.
Conspicuous Ob 4.
Yeah.
I think is that difficult or routine? Because my
What's your-
conspicuous is black too.
Then it's challenging.
If your obstacle is greater than the dice rolled, it's challenging. There's a little chart
Okay.
right here you
Yep.
can look at.
Yeah, equal is difficult.
Oh,
greater
okay.
is challenging. Less than is routine.
Got it.
Largely,
okay.
yes. That's the
Most
simple.
of the time.
Most of the time.
Okay.
There's a check.
Which box is it? Oh, down here.
And then if you need to, you can literally just like make a roll against that ob and let the roll 20 tell you which one it is, which is also
Okay.
helpful.
Yep.
And then you also just got Ugly Truth.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Difficult. I did that one. Okay.
Sweet.
Okay, so the result of that is the sergeant starts like drumming his fingers as you're sort of berating him with some stuff, and by the way, with helping you share in the result of the roll. So he's
Yeah.
looking at both Time and Gale,
Yeah.
sort of drumming his fingers. He's got a scowl on his face. Well, guess I can't count on your votes when we call the company together.
The moot.
I'll remember that.
I shrug.
Listen, nothing against Sergeant A, but I just think I'd be better. You know, just saying. I still
find
like
it
you as a
funny-
dude.
I find it funny that none of you have asked him his name.
I was about to, but I was waiting till this was done. You mean
I
in
assume
character?
would we and the company know his name?
Oh, yeah,
Totally.
like I said, you
100%.
guys have only been like in the same area for a couple of days. You probably just never met him.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I'd probably just say, no offense against you, Sergeant, but I just think I would be better. I still like you as a drinking buddy.
What's your
No,
name?
just-
I'm just saying character. Like he said sergeant and then pause. I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one who doesn't know his name. No one here knows his name. Okay. And then I just ask him like, what's your name again, actually. Like I forgot. It's obviously my fault. He's so important. How could I forget?
Yeah, he tells you his name is
Blood Fittick.
What?
no, it's Dale. Dale
Not
Greenfield.
It's not
Oh.
Blood Fittick.
We're now mortal enemies because our names are similar.
Gale and Dale.
Dale.
When the moot happens,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
change all the
say-
D's into G's.
You say that, and he looks at you, and he's like, "That's Sergeant Greenfield to you."
What's my title? Like just sorcerer?
War mage. Like if
War
there's rare
Do we
enough,
have
that
ranks?
itself would be
Do
your
we have
title.
real ass ranks?
You do, and you're free to define them as you wish. But if you look, we should have done this previous. If,
Probably should've. We'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out
Yeah,
later.
Yeah,
figure
figure
it
out
out
later.
Put it in
you're
there.
you're not officers. You're you know.
Sergeant
Sergeant.
is Sergeant Major is the highest thing that's not an officer. Sergeant is the most normal, and that's not an officer. Sergeant
Yeah.
Majors don't really show up much.
Okay. So I think is now a good time to go to a break?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys.
Leave on the tense
You know,
note.
Yeah, the tension causes your table to disperse. Sarian does his little rounds about talking to people and utterly failing to distance himself from the mercenaries.
Yeah. I thought it would have gone well, and then like 2 more mercenaries showed up, and it's like 1 guy and 4 mercs. How could anyone not notice?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4. So
So yeah, we'll take a break here. We'll come back.
okay,
See where it goes.
Yeah.
Fun.
go to break screen. I don't have music, by the way, yet. We'll work on that for next week.
right.
Okay, we're back. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Episode.
back to-
Oh,
welcome
One.
back to Burning Wheel, Claws and Defect. It's session 1, part B.
Yeah, 1B,
Session
1A,
1B.
one post break.
we need to figure out our
1.2.
session labeling, and whether or not we're gonna make Jordan come up with clever titles for every single YouTube video.
You have like the morning of the episode and the
Why am
evening
I
of
the
the
title
episode.
guy?
I think that's the plan now. Jordan's
We-
gonna
we
have to
all-
write titles for each
Yeah,
episode for the YouTube channel.
We all got
Uh,
together when you weren't around and said not it. So it's
Yeah.
it's your...
Damn Okay. Episode 1 is fuck this shit. I'm out.
Yeah, if you get to name the
All right,
titles,
so the
episode
three
1
of
is you
you-
shouldn't name the titles based on who says not it.
Episode 1 is titled The Fall Guy because it's me.
Okay.
So yeah, we come back to a... Well, I don't know. Are you Krim? You're probably gonna go visit Broden. Is it later? Is it later that night or the next morning?
No, I'll
How
probably
sauced are
later
you?
that night. At some point,
Okay,
I'll
so
either realize that.
Still pretty fucking drunk then.
Yeah,
Okay.
Broden.
exactly.
Open up, Broden! Open the door!
Making
I
this seems like a good idea right now.
Good.
The thing is
All right.
also I left Broden with a Trixie.
Oh, boy.
Oh, good. I get to meet someone new.
I told Broden to go to a Trixie while I handle this meeting. She'll teach you some shit.
At this point, I'm assuming that I would have some idea of where that is, because if he's not staying with me, I should be able to find him. So I'll wander on
you
over
can-
there and pound on the door a bit, just calling for Broden. I need to talk
Dad.
to you.
Yeah, a couple minutes of pounding go by, and you hear a female voice from inside say, "Just answer the door."
Oh my god, that's exactly how I imagined her. Like, answer the door, damn it.
And yeah, some shuffling happens. The door like opens a little bit, and you see Broden's face looking back out the door, back out the cracked door at you, and he says, "What you want?" I got the accent this time.
I am going to start crying.
Give the skills.
Fucking hell.
And basically saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is, I should have done better. We should have done something else. I didn't mean.
Are there like some hiccups in with the crying right at this point?
Yeah. I'm not
like
sure
that.
I'm
Tears and
exactly
mucus and
It's like that ugly song.
understandable.
It's a grief test, right?
so yeah, you keep spewing this out drunkenly for a little while, and Broden's face really doesn't change much. It's sort of like that stern look, like I just don't want to be dealing with you right now, kind of thing. But from behind him, you hear that same female voice. Well, she's obviously a mess. Let her in. And there's a dejected sigh, and he opens the door and he says, "Come on in. Maybe take a seat at the table." You know, like, and
All right.
and you see what color is a Trixie's hair, Jordan?
Did I write that down? I thought I did.
Seafoam green.
I did not. So up to you. You do it.
Okay, yeah, you see a blonde-haired woman, like the back of her just disappear out of the room and down a hallway as she leaves you two to deal with your issues.
All right. So
and yeah, Broden sits like across the table from you, kind of just leans back in that shitty teenager way with his arms crossed. He's like, You need to pull yourself together.
And I'm actually going to listen to him for a bit. I'm going to take a moment and stick my head down on the table and spend a moment putting myself back together. And when I've got a moment to, assuming that he's relatively quiet and gives me that moment, when I look up to him again, I'm still going to look a mess, but I'm basically, I'm going to say something along the lines of, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have come here or done this. I mean,
I think he leans forward a little bit and he says, "Look, I understand why you're here. I get it. All right? It's not that I don't blame you anymore. I still blame you. I'll blame you to the day I die. You killed my brother. You nearly killed me. If we hadn't been following you into that hellhole, he'd still be here."
I know, and I'm sorry, and I What do you want me to do?
I want you to fuck off. I never wanted to see you again. But here we are. Now we're stuck together. And that accent's just gonna keep wavering.
It changes with his temper, I think.
As he gets more fiery, he gets more Scottish.
And we need to make the best of the situation.
Do you want me to leave?
Do you have choice there?
I don't think
I figure you have to stay. You're stationed here, just like I am.
You know, drunken agreement. But I just want you to be happy. I want you to have another family, to meet people, and I don't know. It just.
All right, I'll tell you what. You want me to be happy? We're gonna have to deal with each other. Stop coming around my fucking place drunk. That's the first bit. You're a fucking mess. All right.
I fucking love this kid.
What the fuck kid is this?
But he's a sorcerer kid, so he's like not a normal kid.
I got
No.
Yeah, he was born gifted, like, and he has access to a type of sorcery that increases his brain power.
Yeah, he's smarter than his age.
Yeah, he's Galaxy Brain. We get it. He's the beam.
He's-
The last step on the beam.
Yeah, he's got power, like brain power. He can make himself like superhuman, and then he can like give people advantage. He's like,
He's the ultimate sorceress helper monkey.
exactly.
Ultimate
Ask him questions and have him do menial labor.
Yeah, he's like, that's the first requirement is you stop coming around half off your arse. And he's just Scottish now. We're gonna go with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
He'll
He'll be more Scottish than I am.
Picking up from him.
After that, just stay out of my way. I've got a purpose now. I'm working with Gale and Trixie.
I'm going to be terribly inconsistent and say, but you're all I have left.
You're drunk. You're drunk. That's totally fine. How fucking sad is your life that I'm all you have left?
Pretty sad.
Now, if you remember this in the morning, and I highly doubt you will, but if you do, perhaps you could take some stock in
how you conduct yourself.
I nod very solemnly.
He leans back and waves his fingers a little bit, mutters under his breath. Takes a second, takes a deep breath, lets it out slow. And just has to collect himself. Says, we're gonna have problems. That much is clear. But we've got to work together. We're both dust company now. And as much as I hate to admit it, I might have to rely on you to stay alive. Hope. You need to hope that what you do from this point forward ingratiates yourself enough with me that you can rely on me to keep you alive. Because right now, that ain't happening.
Damn, kid. I thought I had Sorcerer's Fire.
No, I know you're sorry, and I know it wasn't entirely your fault what happened. But they don't like you. I don't think I ever will. And he like pauses and waits for you to either break down crying and leave or just respond somehow.
Yeah.
Trigger a skill test.
Maybe.
Is there a test you want to make, Marissa?
Yeah, is there
Something you want
do
to
you
accomplish?
do you want to like accomplish something with him right now? Do you want to try to change his mind? Do you want to just agree with him and placate him? Do you want to,
Mm-hmm. I actually do want to try and remember what he's saying. But I'm
Okay.
not really sure if that's a thing.
Yeah, that totally would be. I think that would be drinking, wouldn't it? To like remember something that be undrunk enough. The drinking skill. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the drinking test.
Function
and you
enough
know
to
what?
remember
The
what
obstacle
happened.
is your own will.
Really?
Oh, that's a problem. Oh, good.
Actually, no.
Okay.
It would it be her will or her perception? What do you guys think? Like, as far as because will's the social skill, perception is the like remembering things, smarty brain skill or stat rather.
Well, then I'd say it would be will, because perception, remembering things would be beneficial to this, so it shouldn't be an ob based on it. It's probably will.
Okay.
I don't know enough about the system to weigh in.
Well, it's either the social skill of will and because that's where your persuasion and all of that stuff comes from, or your perception, which is your knowledge based skill or stat.
I think
rather. Sorry, I'm saying
if you're trying to remember, like, keep it in your brain, your drunken brain, like what he's saying to you, I would say perception, because you're not like trying to like socially manipulate
But that's
yourself
rolling
to
with
remember.
perception. I don't know.
Yeah, you're rolling with Fort. I feel like rolling versus your own will, because your will would you've been using to drink to begin with.
Well,
Like, how-
We could also
the-
just set an
what's
ob based on the expected difficulty.
To be honest,
Yeah, we could just set it up.
regardless, I am very likely to fail this.
You could fork things.
You
Don't
don't
forget
have
to
the
fork
drinking
things.
skill?
I'm
Yeah, you
taking a
could-
look at things to fork, and
You know what? We won't set the ob based on your stat. It's ob 3. It's difficult. It requires concentration.
all right.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's the most fair.
I could see carousal wise and mercenary wise both working, because you were carousing earlier. That's what got you drunk.
and he is a mercenary.
And he is a mercenary. Both of them are up to Zen.
Yeah, those totally work. Let me take a look at your sheet and see if anything else would be more apropos.
I don't suppose drinking is a part of soldiering.
Well,
Don't think so, and I
Not
severely
official.
doubt that I'm
The-
going to pull
the-
out a pen and paper and write this down.
Not the skill of drinking.
the intent of the role is to remember what's being said and you
Mhm.
know
Exactly.
and change yourself based on that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay, so if that's the
mercenary wise
intent,
would work. Let's see here. Oratory, command, brawling, intimidation, sword. Yeah, I'd say carousal wise and mercenary wise are probably your best bet here.
all right.
And what'll happen if if it's a failure?
If it's a failure, you're making your own bed here. You will not remember this conversation and not act accordingly and piss him off way more.
We'll have a repeat, except not exactly, because that would be
Repeat,
boring.
but it's gonna go way worse this time.
No, he's gonna actively work against you. Like if you don't start, yeah, that's the failure condition. And me saying that you can back out of this role if you want to. You don't have
No
to do
way. I
Obs, I think it's after you know the ob you can't back
Yeah,
out.
but it's we said the ob
I
early
understand
by
order of
accident.
the operations for this is a little bit skewed, but like I feel like I think that's the general rule. It's like you can always back
Yeah,
out
until you know the ob. Yeah.
until you know the ob.
All right, well, let's press that button.
Ooh,
Hey, look at that.
Thank you.
All right.
Character
so come
progression.
morning, despite the huge headache and the dehydration and everything else, you will remember everything that has been said to you by this 16-year-old boy.
we could. I actually can think of a transition. Actually, unless like I think
Sneaking in the window in the other room.
I don't sneak in the window. I use the back door. Like a gentleman.
Well, I was going to do something that morning, which would lead to me rudely waking up Krim. If we want to cut to that, but if someone's doing something that same night, then you guys do that.
Well,
first.
I was hanging out there that same night, so it's probably me and a Trixie listening at the door. Because I definitely cut out of drinking way before Krim did.
Okay.
Way before.
Krim was the last out of the bar. Yeah.
She went until bar closed.
I want to make sure to mark that difficult drinking test.
Yep.
Absolutely, thank you.
Oh.
Okay.
But yeah, transitioning through the wall.
Yeah, it's a dolly shot, and it's obvious there's just not that third wall, but there's that middle one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we transition through the wall into a Trixie's room. Yeah, there's sort of a. Let me pull up her character sheet so I know who I'm talking about. I've got so many NPCs in my brain right now; it's a little ridiculous. Yeah, transitioning through the wall, we see a Trixie. She's not wearing any armor or any. Oh,
We're good.
This is
Hey, transitioning through the wall, we see blank. That's what I heard.
we see nothing. No, we see a Trixie is standing there. She's not wearing any of her like
close.
sorceress regalia. She's just wearing she's wearing
Pajamas.
normal clothes. Yeah, probably like a long shirt down to her knees. That's slippers, and that's about it. Her hair is like pulled back in a ponytail. It's long blonde hair that goes down to the middle of her back normally.
Does this pseudo medieval setting also have the weird fascination with small hats? Just kind of like always.
Small hats.
You like the hair, like the varied lace, like hair nets and head covering. And
Oh.
small hats that are just kind of like prevalent in like crappy medieval movies everywhere.
Yeah, but I think a Trixie is like getting ready to turn in for the night, so she's not wearing. You see the small hat like on the nightstand.
Yeah,
with
that's the bed hat
sticking out of it. Yeah. What is going on in the room? Gabe?
Oh, God.
Keep it PG.
Are you wearing?
Yeah. Gale's also in his pajamas, okay?
Oh, you're spending the night.
We get that moonlit butt shot of Gale.
As you pull up your pajama bottoms, we have 5 seconds of rear nudity we can add.
Yep.
And it's your ass as we pull up the pajama bottoms.
There's an easel set up and he's laying on the bed like a French girl. No, he's actually he's actually sitting at a table with a chess game set up, like they were obviously playing before they got interrupted, and he's got his little cat, his dragon cat, on his lap, going like, "How's it going? How's he doing?" Like I assume Trixie's listening.
Yeah, she pulls her ear away from the wall, and she says, "About as good as you might expect."
Yeah. Kinda heard her spill the beans at the bar. It's not pretty.
How much do you know of your charge?
Only as much as I've been told. You know, they came from this other company. I learned more about sort of what happened from as I look at her name again, Krim's outburst in the bar.
Completely
He
unprompted.
blames her. He blames her for the entire incident. His brother was with them, perished. He's opened up a little bit to me, but you should work with him on that. His anger will not serve him.
You know, back in the I was about to make that joke.
It'll only lead him farther with the dark side.
Anger leads to hate, hate leads to pain, and then pain leads to suffering.
He's certainly suffering. I will give you that.
We have that shared past in common, him and I. You know, losing everyone you knew.
Seems to be a common thread in the Legion.
Or among sorcerers.
But what of you? What of this meeting with the Baroness? What's she like?
She's a right piece of work. Tried to ingratiate myself with her, but she's got a big fuck off fella. You know, big armored.
Yeah, I saw him in the square. Something's not right with that one.
Nope, he did not take any of my jokes well, and he did not like my charm. He just gave me a grunt. And it wasn't a good grunt, and let me know. I know
To
good
be
grunts.
fair, darling. To be fair, darling, your jokes are terrible. I know I laugh, but that's because I like you.
That's true. She says we need to pick a leader in 24 hours. And
She's not wrong.
right. I'm thinking of putting my name in just because some guy named Dale, he's a sergeant asshole.
I think that could be good for you, putting yourself in a leadership role like that. You're ready. You're definitely ready.
You don't need to lie to me.
Just know that I'll have your back. But I may not always be around. I do have other duties. I do love being around you. You know that,
Mm,
but the Legion sends me where they need me.
right. And it's kind of like a sleeping with your boss sort of thing. It's not.
Thought that was sort of the thrill for you.
I mean, it is. Don't listen. But you know, everything's a chess game, as it were.
Yeah, I think she picks up a piece and moves it. So.
Wait, she's touching the pieces? She doesn't use...
She doesn't have that. No.
Not
No,
with your
she
chest?
doesn't have. Yeah, no, she's not. She's not a. What is it?
But the
She.
chessboard's
not an
not
evoker.
The
No.
chessboard's not enchanted to move the pieces around?
No,
No,
it's
it's just a normal ass
standard
chessboard.
chessboard.
Lame.
We just said magic
Not
items were a
everything
thing.
that sorcerers own is magic. Like
Lame.
Do
I
you want
would-
them to go to like the magic toilet and like?
That's the bidet, okay? I can
They
tell
have
you.
magic diapers. They have magic diapers that just sort that stuff out.
That's better than Rowling's explanation.
Yeah. Can I roll to see if I'm winning the chess game? I do have strategy games.
Yeah,
I'm not very good at it.
What's the
Are you
point?
trying? Yeah, are you trying to prove a point by winning the chess game?
Mm, not really.
Yeah, I don't think there's any like interesting failure of just playing
Yeah.
a friendly game of chess.
Yeah. I mostly took it because this is like his excuse to come like meet with her in clandestine hours. Is
Oh,
like
yeah,
he
yeah.
picked up some chess while he was doing other stuff.
Yeah, and she plays right along with you, and you
Yeah.
know, in going by the past experience, you do tend to win more than you lose against her.
Hmm. It's probably because she's going easy on me.
That might be the test. But
Mhm.
but yeah, she talks with you about the Baroness and what your plans are. She's sort of really pushing you to throw your hat in the ring for this leadership role.
I think maybe that's the strategy games test to see if she's actually going easy on me. And in that case, like, why wouldn't you? If you think I could lead, why wouldn't you go all out in a simple game of chess?
So do you say something to her in that regard?
I probably like. I probably say like, you say I'm ready, but I tend to win more. But this was mostly an excuse to come to your room. I don't really know all the rules.
Very well. If you win this game, tomorrow morning you march down to the Baroness and tell her you're in line to be captain. If you Sorry, I had that backwards. If I win, you must do that. If you win, I'll drop it.
Well, I'm thinking about doing it anyway. I just want to know.
Yes, but this is binding, dear.
All right. The pieces just move back to like starting positions.
She sits down, like cracks her knuckles.
Oh no.
Like,
I'm probably going to lose. I don't think I can fork anything in. It's just strategy games.
Unless you have like, I don't know, slightly dominating wizard wise.
Let's be real. Gale is the sub wizard.
Yeah. I don't know what you could have designed your character for this.
No. He's meant for fighting one-on-one. He's not meant for strategy.
okay.
Oh, so you're wizard fighter.
Yeah. Most of my stuff is like brawling, axe, armor training, soldiering, soldier-wise, shield training. Like, he's meant to fight people.
Okay.
So,
So she doesn't have strategy games. She has strategy. So actually, her
She would
It'll
just
be
be using
double
perception.
yeah, she'd be a double obstacle for this one.
did I not give her strategy games? I thought I did.
Well, I actually maybe you did. I don't know. You never filled in the damn actual thing.
Oh, I did later, I thought. I didn't fill in
Oh.
her other stuff.
There's no skills on the main page. There's just a
Oh,
little
it's in the
sheet.
burner.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she does have strategy games at 4. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. So I'll have her roll first, and that'll be your ob. Oh, and her perception is what? Gray?
I didn't grade her perception. I barely was able to make my character. I couldn't make a character that was supposed to be better than my character.
And okay, I'm gonna roll hers to give you a knob, and your roll. Eesh, okay.
Okay, she
She's-
rolled terribly.
yeah.
Wow.
So you need to beat a 1.
No modifiers. What does it? Oh, I put the ob in last, right?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, its modifiers are
You.
Stalemate.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a strategy game. It's the best result.
If we literally.
Wait, do you have like a? How do you break ties? In
You can
She'd
you
be-
break a
You
tie.
can
You
actually
can
stalemate
break a tie
chess.
by going down to the stat. You have a stat roll off.
Well,
if
no,
you
I'm
wanna
saying
do
you
that.
can,
Or using a
can't
call-on
you
trait.
intentionally break it in your favor with like a call-on trait.
Oh yeah, or you could break
I don't
it
have any
in her
call-ons.
favor.
No, it's break it in your favor with a call-on trait, is what those do. I think that's what they're for, right?
I think so.
Oh,
Either way,
right.
you don't
Yeah.
have one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I
was
don't
just
have
saying-
any call-ons.
I was looking for the other recourse before rolling again. It moves
Yeah.
to, like the
Then yeah, it's either
it's root versus root.
Yep.
So then,
Perception
what's the
versus perception?
It's will and perception.
So
is
are these
the-
tested as well? Like, do they count as tests? Does that
It
mention?
still counts as a test. Yes.
Oh, nice.
The average of will and perception.
Oh,
Mine's
Yeah, so you put
4
it
because
together.
I have 4 in both of them.
I think
Yeah,
you
just pick
choose
one and
which
roll it.
which stat the test applies to if it's the average.
Yeah, if they're both 4. Just pick one and roll it.
Let's go with perception because I think that's what my magic shit's based off of. So
Now, okay, important piece of information. Perception tests are only logged when they're successful.
is it
Oh.
different for will?
And will test
It's
for
different for
any?
will.
Then I'll do will. Do you want her to roll first?
Yeah, because that'll set your ob. Because I'm not logging her stuff.
Yeah. Do you want me to
Uh,
log her stuff, or does she kind of just stay?
By default, NPCs don't change.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Not unless they're like
Good luck.
So
Yeah.
what? That's 4.
ob 4.
I have a will of 4. How?
How-
How is that? I didn't.
How do you
Wait,
have
you
four
have more
modifiers?
modifiers.
I
Oh,
didn't
you
put
put
that
the
in.
modifier. You put the modifier in instead of the ob because the ob is
Well,
still at 1.
Oh,
You look at the
okay.
First 4
Oh.
dice. That's
There's
No,
two
roll
suc
two.
there's
Roll
there's two
again.
successes in the first 4 dice there.
Okay. So wait, what? I clicked the dice. I didn't do any modifiers. I didn't do any Artha.
It thinks
And
you
the base
entered
option-
4 in the modifiers instead of the.
That's weird.
Obstacle.
All right, whatever. We'll just use the first 4, so I would fail.
Yeah. So it's a failed routine will for you. Or no, it's not
No,
routine.
it's challenging.
It's 4,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
challenging.
ob 4, skill 4. Or something.
Oh, I didn't put in the obstacle. Oh,
is it
that's
challenging
why.
or is it difficult? It's equal.
It's you're right. It's equal. So yeah,
It's
sorry.
difficult.
I counted. it wrong.
So one difficult. Okay, I got it. All right, cool. So she won.
Yeah. She ends up winning the chess match.
So it's very
You
close
playing
to a draw.
checkers.
Yeah.
I thought I had it as a draw, and then she's like, "Nope."
Yeah. At one point, you're pretty certain that you can stalemate her because you know you're not going to win. So you move your piece, but there's one move you didn't account for, and she moves her rook up, knocks your king over, and checkmate, dear. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I guess I have to go lead the mercenaries. Oh no, it's not what I wanted at all.
Now you have to.
Now I have to do
The
it.
best thing for
My hands are
GM,
tied,
the
sweetie.
best
I'm
thing is to
sorry.
make him actually not want to. as
Now
a
you
GM.
have to apply.
Now I have to apply.
Yep.
I'll expect to hear of your name on the voting registrar in the morning.
First thing
Blake
in the
smiles
morning.
at you.
You know, you don't want to be walking around after going to a pub drunk, you know.
Speaking of drunks walking around,
Yeah.
Sergeant, that I have a thing for.
Are
Please
you
tell me
killing
you're
him
gonna
that
shank him.
night? You need your persona.
She wasn't tomorrow. We got put on time of it.
God, you know what? That's gonna make me the prime suspect. And the only way I could out myself is not being a suspect if I go, no, I was boning her.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think we draw that scene to a close with her saying something to the effect of like, "Let me
Do it in the
soothe
morning."
your ego," and we
We
like
see
Yeah.
fade to black.
we see a nightgown fall over the chessboard.
Oh yeah, the chessboard falls over.
No, like a
Yeah.
nightgown gets draped on top of it, and that's
And
Knocked over all the
that's
pieces.
And you just see the shadows in the background sort of like just fall over onto where the bed would be, and that's to black.
Finn.
So yeah, someone's following a drunk sergeant around.
no, I'm not following anywhere.
Okay.
I'm setting a man-sized snare outside of the inside of his tent or wherever he's staying. So when he steps in, he gets slung up against the wall, and I'm waiting in his bedroom.
I have an idea if this fails. Someone else steps
Now-
into it.
Out of context, this scene could either end in a murder or exactly how the last scene ended. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
I like like the last scene you see roast being tied, and then it's just actually him tying the snare.
Yeah, no. You hear
Yeah,
the
it's like
Foley
that
work,
transition.
It fades to black, and you hear the Foley work of not being tied, and it cuts to time in this like room we don't know where it is yet, and they're setting up a snare because they have followed the sergeant around. They've heard him quibble and ask for help. They have decided he is the weakest contender.
Okay.
So yeah, no, we fade in on time, like tying ropes in some bedroom, and they're getting ready. They're building a snare to throw this person up against the wall.
You created him, he
He-
hated you, and now you're gonna.
Now he's dead.
I get you gave
okay.
yeah. What
Long
player
live
characters
Dale.
giveth, so player characters taketh away.
Get away.
All right. So do you
Brought
do
him
you
into this
have
world. Think
the
about it.
trapper skill?
Yeah, I
Time?
have Trapper.
You do? Okay. It's a OB4 trapper test.
Well, you
Is
see,
that-
I
is that
am
the
in
man's
fact.
there?
Wait, so is that the if it fails thing? Or what's that?
What's the failure here?
The
What am I
failure
doing?
is that like he'll see the trap and then you and violence will ensue.
See, this is
Oh
a
my
trap
God.
for a soldier. So can I fork in my soldier wise?
Of course you can.
Yeah. I am also being stealthy about this.
Yeah, that is a good way to go about it, sure.
Yep.
And we're sticking with the 2 forks.
For now.
All right, cool, no
Um,
problem. 4 on 4.
All right. So you set the trap and
Set the trap.
you wait in the shadows
Yeah.
for
I wait in the shadows. You're right.
So before we continue, do you guys all have your own separate houses, or is this like in the middle of the barracks? Does he have his own room because he's a sergeant in the barracks, and you're setting the trap there?
I figured he'd have his own room as the sergeant and all of the derelict buildings that are around. It's
Mhm.
not that hard for like the sergeant to be like, yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
take this building that's in front of the field where all the tents are.
Okay.
yeah, like the lower ranks would probably all bunk together, but anyone that feels that they have enough authority at this point, since there is no actual authority figure, could take up residence wherever they wish.
Mhm.
We are hostily occupying a town.
Yeah, true.
There's plenty of
Yeah.
places where we can just tell people we're living here now.
Just checking.
I am going to do one thing real fast. Oh, come on, open up. All right, screw it. Never mind. So yeah, the sergeant stumbles back to his his place, opens up the door, looks down, sort of gives a chuckle, like, really? This is a piss poor job, whoever did this. And he starts like looking around in the dark. You might want to like
I
I
stab him
don't
in the
know,
hand.
hide it.
I stab him in the hand.
He's looking around and I stab him in the hand.
That's your
It's
instinct.
it's an instinct.
It is
He's
your
looking
instinct.
around, it didn't work. Things are tense. So I take my spear and I stab him in the hand.
Oh, jeez. This isn't how I
First
imagined what
blood.
the combat would be, but you know.
Here we go. All right. So are you intending to kill with the stab in the hand?
I'm attempting to disable his hand.
You're attempting to disable his hand. All right. So go ahead and
Hands, plural. It's plural.
Both
but
hands? Okay.
yeah. He's like looking around or whatever.
Okay,
Hand,
so we
hands,
can't-
whatever.
So we
Less
can't fight
use of the
back?
fingers. Yeah.
So here's my question. It's not a bloody versus test because he's not attacking back, not defending. This isn't a fight. You're looking to disable him quickly. How do we set this up?
Speed.
No, the ob. What is it? Can we see the ob list? I think
Like
it
a
might just be
vers-
set an ob. It might
Not
be an
just-
ob versus his perception, because I would consider this a sneak attack in a way. Even if he's aware, I don't think no one would be expecting a spear to the hands.
All right. And Ob 4 is extremely difficult or risky, and that would be his perception as well, because when I don't burn somebody, 4 is average for
Yeah,
stats.
yeah.
So I just normally go with a 4.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's a risky maneuver. So yeah, Spirit Ob 4.
Okay. He's a soldier, right? So I know what soldiers keep their hands about.
I know the habits of soldiers' hands.
Typically
With
comes
the
into
instinct
gas
that he has
formation.
for hands, he might more than most.
yeah, he does,
Yeah.
yeah.
You should take hands wise in the future.
I should take
Hands
hands wise,
wise.
and I was stealthy, even though unsuccessfully. I was attempting to catch him
he hadn't-
unawares.
Yeah, he hadn't seen you yet. You kicked in your instinct before the full.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Brunt
planning
of
on.
the- yeah.
That was the point of the instinct.
Okay, yeah, he hadn't drawn steel or anything. He was just yeah. Go ahead.
So I'm forking stealthy and soldier wise into spear. No Artha because I have none. You said Ob 4.
Ob 4.
I want you to
Alright, lose some
lose.
fingers.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Okay. You successfully you put the point of the spear, like the shaft of the spear, is now through his hand. Like,
Yeah,
Is it a
okay
wall?
then.
Is it
there
a
is
wall?
a.
His hand just up against the wall now.
Oh, you want to like
Yeah,
you want to like
his hand
pin it to the wall?
So it's just like this? Or like both hands just like
his-
this?
I wouldn't say
hand is
up.
pinned to the
It would
wall
be kind of
behind
The
him.
other hand is probably like a whole.
Yeah, like trying to pull the damn thing out. Like,
Okay.
a blood curdling scream peels through the house and out the unclosed doorway that he was standing in. Like, you've basically pinned his hand. Like, behind him there is no wall, there's just an open door, and you've pinned his hand to like the door jam. And he starts screaming bloody murder.
I would like to end his screaming. Actually, no.
Okay.
First, I would like to persuade him to shush.
think that
Drunk.
I think that goes a long way past persuasion.
Like, shut him up. What do I roll to get him to shut up?
I mean, he is effectively like disabled at this point, because that was your intent for the roll, was to disable him.
Okay.
So you
yeah, I
can
put my-
shut him up.
I put my hand over his mouth and just like shut up, and while very close to him, and going to try to instill I don't have the exact phrasing, so I don't know exactly how Time talks yet. But I don't know the exact like phrasing. But they're basically trying to convince him, "You're a useless sergeant. You've done nothing all day. How dare you think you could lead this like honorable company?"
You ain't got the stones for this? Is that
Yeah,
basically the
you're-
gist of it?
You're not qualified. You haven't tried. All you've done is listen and talk. You've made no actions to work on anything today.
If he is screaming bloody murder, I'm probably on my way back by this point.
Oh yeah, we'll get to the repercussions of him yelling in a second
Alright.
because
Yeah.
time has a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So your intent now is to what, dissuade him from being the captain, or are you just
I'm
like
informing
saying
him.
this because you're
I'm
about to
in-
slit his throat?
Yes, I'm
You want him to
informing
know
him.
why he's dying.
Yeah, I'm informing him he is unworthy of being the captain. And while I have the hand over his mouth, like, I don't know, do I need to roll to eliminate the weakest link?
No, at this point,
Yeah, I
he's
stab him
you
in the-
you disabled him. I'll say
Yeah,
yes.
I have my mouth over his hand over his mouth and a little small knife, it's just like in the spleen or something.
You almost
the
said I have my mouth
spleen?
over his mouth.
No, this thing, I don't know.
You just
you
make
kill
out with him and then kill him.
He's dead. He's dead now.
Okay,
stab
you
to death.
end him in some nebulous way. We see from the back, a quick motion from Time, and then just blood dripping
Yeah.
onto the floor.
I stabbed
and
him
Man.
quickly as to not get blood over my flip.
Yeah. the body slumps and is now just hanging there by a hand.
I wrenched
This
the
turned
sword.
this turned Game of Thrones real quickly.
Okay, I wrote before I got the time limit. I wrote a belief about eliminating the weakest contender, and I
The
didn't realize
things
there
I
was a
do for
24-hour
love.
time limit. So I had to
You had
act
to act
fast.
Fast.
Very fast. Okay.
All right, now what does matter?
Yes, what does
is the
matter.
next bit
He's screaming.
is the screaming has definitely attracted some attention.
Yeah.
Anybody that feels that their character would be close enough has heard this.
Yes, they have.
I'm busy.
I am on my way back and coming over to check out the screaming.
I probably would be close enough, but even with the screaming, I think I would try to get there sneakily.
Okay, so you're not moving quickly to
No,
get there.
I'm not moving quickly. I'm not
Okay.
there first.
Krim,
I'm
are you moving
as
quickly?
quickly as I am capable of doing.
All right, so
I would like to attempt to whistle my way out of this situation. Just like whistle and walk off without. I'm hoping no one connects the two dots.
Just make sure you take your spear out of his hand.
your signature spear. Whose could it be? It has a
It's got
banner
it's got
on
a
it.
little
What's the-
flag.
Yeah.
on it.
It's got the flag on it.
Yeah, it's got the company pendant.
Yeah, I was gonna say contested speed rolls, to see if you
But
like
if
get
he's
out of
gonna
the
get-
area fast enough. But if you're, I mean, if anybody saw you walking away from the scene where there was a bunch of screaming, they would automatically assume that's a little suspicious, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it would be suspicious, but when people pay, how did I phrase it? Anytime someone begins to notice my actions, make sure they don't leave suspicious of me.
Okay,
My
that's
instinct-
ominous.
What is that, a trait?
That's my instinct.
all right,
Well-
so
That's after
do
it
the contested
happens.
speed roll. Yeah, we'll do the contested speed roll, and if the failure state, if Time fails the speed roll, they are still in the area, and therefore your instinct will kick in.
Yes.
It-
All right, I was
Is
just gonna
Time
say I had
trying
a-
to retrieve the spear?
Oh no, he pulled the spear and I tried to walk away nonchalantly, but this is
There's
fast
That's-
walking.
That's part of the
Blood coming
speed
down.
test.
Yeah,
is-
part of the
is
speed
getting that
test.
out.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's more me wrenching the spear out and then running out the door before anyone walks up and sees me run out the door. Because I can be right outside the door and still play the inconspicuous, like, oh, I showed up for the yelling.
Yeah, the speed in this case isn't getting away; it's not looking like you just did that. Like
Yeah.
being far enough away when someone sees you that you could conceivably not have been the assailant.
Most definitely. All right. Rolling speed. What am I rolling speed against?
It's contested, so one of you will have to roll first and figure out your test
So
level
it would
after
be,
that.
I guess it would be Crim because
So just pure speed?
Speed. Say the ob is 1.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Roll speed at 1.
Siren was.
And I'm assuming,
sneaking.
yeah, this is a
I'm-
stat,
I'm
so there's nothing
sneaking.
forking or anything.
Yeah. You don't fork with stats. You just roll them.
Perfect. So, yes, and base up 1.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm pretty capable.
All right.
All right.
We might
Yeah,
have
so
another
time-
murder. I don't know. I doubt it.
Oh, good.
So the margin of failure here was only by 1. So I will say, time you got the spear out, and just as you walk out the door, Crim comes like around the corner and sees you walking out of the building.
I'm just screaming? Where?
Oh. No.
Oh, and those are both routine tests for you too, by the way, for speed, which you don't actually mark on stats. I don't think.
You don't
Yeah.
like routine tests.
I like
No.
screaming. Where? No.
No, what do you mean no? That no,
issue.
there was screaming.
No concern. No issue.
Slight weapons malfunction. How are you?
Carry on.
What do you mean no concern?
It is of no concern. The screaming has ceased. The company has returned to normal operations.
Usually a ceasing of screaming is not a matter of non-concern.
Oh my god.
What are
I would like to wander
I
into
think
the
it was
crowd
this
now.
way, let's look.
As she walks into the building, I am blending in with the recruits as I just walk into the camp.
I don't think that would allay suspicion at the. Well, I mean, okay.
The point's not to allay
I'll-
suspicion. The point is to get to my tent and sleep. Sort this out.
Sort this out in the morning.
But I will say that Crim is still
Drunk.
drunk.
Is it possible for me to persuade Crim to drop it?
That's up to Crim.
That's what I'm asking. That was the question. Is it possible for me to make a persuade roll for you to drop it?
Yeah, is it conceivable that you could ever drop it?
Yes, it is reasonably conceivable, but it would be like versing me in something.
All right, cool. So let's do that then.
All right.
I'm trying to convince you to drop it. That's what my whole dumb speech is. It's of no concern. There's been no like. It's not illegal to scream. We don't have.
It's not illegal to scream.
We're not. We have no.
I
need
felt
to
like screaming.
investigate.
Okay, it was just
Yeah.
me.
We have no.
This is-
we have
I
no-
thought I saw a cat dragon, and I don't like them because of my mouse.
Yeah.
That's
This
it.
world doesn't have like. What's that law where you can where cops can break into your house?
Like
if they
noise
do
complaints
something?
doesn't have that. Oh, you mean
Oh,
the other one?
Reasonable
cause or something?
Yeah, reasonable suspicion or
Yeah, there's
probable
no-
cause.
There is no reasonable like cause. It's a medieval society. Our laws do not exist to support that kind of structure of the authorities needing to go and run in and check on every scream.
I just imagine that argument in real life. Like we live in a postmodern society. I don't think the laws support execution. Yeah, you don't like. I love it.
You don't have to do this. It's not necessary. People can.
It's not in our job description.
Not
We're
in our job
fine.
description. The law does not mandate it. We're good. We're all in the
It's
clear.
perfectly
Neither of us are
timed
breaking
as
the
well.
law.
All right, in a duel of wits, this would totally be obfuscate. But
Yeah, you got no audience right now.
We're not
Yeah.
doing witzing though. We're doing.
yeah,
test
I'm just
rules.
trying to figure out how what.
Yeah.
I mean, you're persuading.
I'm persuading. I'm trying to fork in law wise and soldier wise bonus, and that's as high as I can go
Okay.
on bonuses. So I have a 3. I'm just gonna roll my 3 dice, and then whatever you want to roll against that.
Unless it comes to a matter of
It could just be your will. Like this could just be stubbornness on your part.
I think stubbornness and the will is the thing that makes most
All right.
sense.
What's your will?
4.
Oh
You
well.
fucked.
So
Whatever.
someone else might be able to convince her to drop it, but I don't know if you could.
Well, I'm making the roll.
Yeah, you could. You're welcome to, and still get the.
Okay, so just roll will, and then you'll roll the other thing.
No, I'm just gonna roll against your will. So
Okay.
the ob is going to be your will, which
Yeah.
means I failed.
Yeah, 3 dice. Yeah, and we don't have Arthur yet. Ooh.
No successes.
Well, you made a
Okay.
challenging
Well,
persuasion roll at least.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and mark that challenging test. Krim,
Garbage
this is
truck on
complete
fire.
bullshit. Like what
Like,
the fuck?
can you see? Like, is this seeing the blood dripping off his spear right now?
Yeah,
Levels of suspicious.
No. I've got this. As time is completing his case, you look down and see the blood start like seeping out the doorway and into the street. The widening pool is just coming out. And a lot of what he's saying is not making sense at this point.
I am going to grab Time's arm and say, "We are looking into this. What happened
Okay.
here?"
I think at this point with Krim here, I think Sarian shows up. I don't think I'm sneaking anymore. I was like trying to sneak to get there, and also was probably watching for the last few moments. But I turn around the corner and just arrive. I'm like, what's going on?
And I guess I'm probably not seeming like a credible witness at the moment, but
Yeah,
I'm like,
Sarian, you come across a drunken Krim spewing a bunch of fast words at times, saying, "We need to look at all this. What's going on?"
Okay. I think I see the blood coming from a room. I see like blood pool. I'm like I think I just run in there without paying attention to you two, and I just like run past you two. Yes.
yes, but the thing that's
door.
first in the door.
I don't know about it, so I just run. While I am running, I yell like I have a cottage. Get my doctor's bra! And then I run. I
Right
run
up
straight,
into the
straight into the trap.
I feel like it's an observation or a speed test to avoid it.
What?
It's more of the thing.
I have no reason to suspect. Like I would run. I'm a doctor, spy or not. I'm a doctor. I'm gonna try and help this person, and then I get caught in the trap. There's no way I would have seen that coming.
I like to imagine you're upside down right next to the body too. So it's like...
Yeah, no, I'm like sickeningly close to the body. Probably have some of his
Oh
blood
my
on me
God.
now.
So what was the man snare? What was that intended to do to the guy? It was like
It was like
pulling back
holding him against
wall,
the
right?
same wall he's now pinned to.
He's not pinned to the wall anymore. The
slumped on
spear
the-
was taken out. And
Oh, that's
he-
true. He's on the ground.
So you're pinned to the wall with a dead body at your feet.
Okay.
I walk over and try to get as much blood on me as possible to cut down the doctor. Like I drop my stuff in the blood and like I walk over to cut down.
What?
Okay.
Okay, I fall to
But
the
I-
ground
it's-
and I'm like,
Yeah, I just intentionally get messy. Is the whole point I'm
yeah,
making.
I'm not paying
Okay.
attention right now. I'm just a bit disoriented. What is Krim doing?
I'm still just coming along, just kind of gibbering a bit,
Okay.
but trying to see what's up.
I catch sight of the body and immediately start inspecting it to see if it's dead. Here is a weird question. Can I make a like medical roll versus a past knives or stabbing roll to see if it like is he actually dead, or did you like go out of your way to make sure he's instantly super dead, or is he maybe
Oh, no, I
dying?
did the professional soldier thing of you stab up onto the ribcage into the heart so they're dead.
Oh, he's okay.
Yeah,
So he's
dead.
absolutely super dead.
He's dead.
There's no way to
Yeah,
save
I'm
him.
not a murderer. I'm a professional.
I see.
I'm not some murderer. I'm a professional.
So I look at
Well,
like,
it's like I don't get the joy of the kill. It's the job is you killing the person.
Yeah,
Like, it's done.
so I look
it's
at him
done
like,
well.
Dale. I look at you, Time. Like, I like he's clearly dead. He's getting cold. I'm like,
Someone
get-
should tell the captain.
get the Baroness.
Someone should tell the captain.
And I yell, probably at the exact same time, get the Baroness!
I'm
Does-
not
do you-
going anywhere.
I just watch you like.
This is such a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I'll
Dad,
actually respond
what
to
is
that
she
one.
gonna
I'll
do
try
about
and
it?
do my best
Is
at
she
straightening
gonna
up
fix it?
because that is a very reasonable thing to do. So I'm going
Is
to
she
straighten
gonna
up
fix it?
and head for the Baroness.
Okay.
Oh
Gonna
God. This-
Welcome to our first and last session.
you know what? I know the title of this episode. It's called "Get the Shovel."
Second
worry, I
funeral is
took
what
out
it's
my
called.
backup
Second
character.
funeral.
Sorry,
Funerals and fuck ups.
I have a backup idea. It's fine.
So I think yeah. So time while you're gone, you're like that's not going to do anything. And are you? I think I'm like looking at you. Like I knew it was one of you two, and Krim was drunk, which is still makes it possible. But also, Time and I haven't gotten along since we met, basically.
Well, you were trying to be rude and interrupt a funeral.
Not then. Specifically, I meant
In the Baroness.
in the Baronesses, and also yeah, mostly then. We
and you were trying to impede his talk up to the now dead
Oh,
sergeant.
that's about the dead guy. That wasn't about the.
Yeah.
That was about you. It's fair that you think I'm not being nice to you, but that was more about the dead guy.
okay. I want to try and read you. I think to see if like come to any conclusions about your suspicion without making it obvious.
So perception versus inconspicuous, not perception. Observation versus inconspicuous, and then
It could be observation. Yeah.
I'll answer whatever questions you want if you win, or I'll.
Yep.
That seems
That can
reasonable?
work.
Okay.
Yeah, so his observation catches you out in your bullshit if he wins, and you acquiesce. Sure.
Okay.
Just gonna no
I don't know if
modifier.
I'm specifically questioning you, but I think I'm
Are
more like
you-
taking like looking at everything.
Are you a wizard by any chance?
No, I'm not a wizard.
You're taking stock of the situation like I should have.
Yeah. So I think observation will be the main one. But as a doctor, I have a few, and a spy, I have a few stabbing the heart related forks. We're still doing a limit of 2,
Well,
but
no,
if we
it's
didn't have the
your-
limit of 2, I'd have more.
You're talking about me, not about the body, though.
True, but do you have a knife on you visibly?
No, not. I mean, as
He's
in, I
got the
have my
spear.
sight. I have my sidearm. I'm a professional soldier. I have a knife in my belt, like I'm supposed to.
Okay.
I have my spear
Okay.
with the banner on it, like I'm supposed to.
So
It's a knife in a knife shop.
Yeah, but they're bloody.
The dead guy has a knife. You look at the other person. Like Krim has a knife. Like everyone has
True.
knives.
But looking at his wound is the big thing. Like single wound. Two wounds. Stabbed in the hand and stabbed in the heart,
Well,
basically.
if you're including the body, that means I also got a fork. Like the
Yeah,
relate.
we'll both fork. Let's both fork.
Yeah. Okay. So
If
we'll
that's
fork
good.
Knives because I killed.
We're
him
both
with a knife.
forking knives. Yeah, and I also know knives. I'm like, he was killed with a knife professionally. Like, this was single stab, knew where they were hitting, didn't stab
I'm
again.
also gonna fork falsehood. So because I'm
That's
just
fair.
gonna lie.
Zen, please intervene if something doesn't
That
work.
seems
You guys are handling it. I got.
Okay. Would this be intrigue? I have intrigue-wise. This feels
I
like
rolled 4.
intrigue. Like, assassination and I wasn't, and I'm innocent when I'm actually guilty feels intriguing. Like,
It would be if you guys were having a conversation. I think.
Yeah.
okay,
But
yeah, but I'm just
since,
taking a look
since
around
this is based on like what you're seeing and like you're CSIing this,
Okay.
so it's more of a.
Okay, and my last question is, if falsehood is also meant for catching out lies, and he is using falsehood to lie, can I use falsehood to catch him out on it?
I think if it's if falsehood is the skill you're rolling, sure. I don't know if you can fork like that though.
Okay. I will
That's
use,
like that's
then,
like bending the skill.
and then
a
I'll
little
roll
bit.
falsehood and fork in observation and knives then? Okay.
Sure.
Well,
yeah,
it's-
you're
Whatever. It's fine.
yeah. Falsehood is used to both lie and see lies as an optional rule,
Yeah.
and since
Okay. Then I
Yeah,
will
I'm
roll
good with
falsehood
that.
and forking in observation and knives. And my
Ob is
difficulty
4.
is 4.
I didn't do it.
So I think, yeah, the most interesting is the reason
you
I
cer-
think you didn't do it might be I probably might assume this is too professional for you, or something like that's not
You do
true.
the-
Like I
you
don't
don't-
know you enough, or I think something
You
wrong
the
about you
giant
as a
spear,
person.
and you're like, oh, if this person killed them, they would have stabbed them with a spear. This is not a spear wound in their stomach.
Everyone has a knife. I have a knife.
Yeah.
You're the bannerman. That's not a responsible
Yeah.
position.
Yeah. Either way,
Damn
I
it.
don't.
Damn it,
I
you're a
think
doctor, not a murderer.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's you. Krim still does, but I don't. So I'm like, okay, just. Okay, time. Just let's get the body out of here. It's gonna stain everything. Just bring it outside, or keep people away, or something. I don't.
All right, well, step out. Step out of the building. I'll take care of it. We'll wait for the Baroness outside, and I'll just close the door.
Suddenly you smell smoke. Oh.
That would definitely incriminate me.
Do I have personal effects? What would like a big Sharpie be?
You're gonna chalk outline him?
No, it's just gonna write on the door like "Don't open." You
Oh,
know,
okay.
like something like that. I take the knife I killed him with.
Can you write? Is the question.
Yes, I
You
can
have
write,
right.
and I
Okay.
begin to carve on the door. Do not open.
Don't dead open inside.
Legion line, do not cross.
Well, something to that effect. I scratch in with a knife I killed him with on the door, saying "Do not open door by order of Legion," but like or whatever. Like I draw the little, our easy to write down logo that is
Yeah.
supposed to be official or whatever.
Just finger paint with his blood. You're fine.
No, that's gross.
That's gross.
Wait, that's your fucking line?
You threw your stuff on his blood, so you did not incriminate yourself.
But that was in self-preservation. That's different from
Oh,
doing it
God.
because it's there.
Okay, so given that it's 10 minutes till we still got to do end of session stuff, we will close out the session with the Baroness and her very large bodyguard walking down the road quickly toward the scene of the crime, with Krim trying to keep up and trying to look sober, I'm guessing.
Very
God.
accurately.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll have a week to figure out how to
I know what
get out of
happens.
this one.
I think it was rebels. That's what the falsehood is. The rebels
yeah.
totally killed him. Of course, it wasn't time.
All right. So
I'm
at
so
the
glad.
end at the end of the session, we go through your beliefs, instincts, and traits and see if you
Oh, I have to erase an enemy
earned
circle.
anything.
I'm erasing an enemy circle. My enemy problem.
You might have some new enemies soon, but for
That's
now,
fair. All right. So, you can earn a fate point by your beliefs, manifesting your character's belief in a convincing and entertaining manner. We're just working at it.
Okay.
So if you
we'll
if
go
you
through
feel
that.
you've earned this, please read off the belief and let
Oh.
us know.
Oh, I have not worked towards any of my beliefs.
I could argue for two, but they're both weak arguments.
What are they? We're learning. We'll go through it.
One of them is that Broda needs family and connections other than me. I'll encourage him to strike up other relationships. I tried.
Yeah, that's working.
I
for
tried
me.
is literally
you
what
tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
tried. So fate.
Fate. Yeah,
So
you
you
get a
earn
different
one fate
reward
from
if you can.
And the other one is, again, much more subtle. It was the pertinent part is I must hide any signs of. Huh. Okay, that was still
I'm
working.
back.
I must hide any signs
It was
of
me.
the rebels' involvement with the mine. So basically, I was trying to not get the mine opened.
you were very sort of like let it be when it comes to us discussing reopening the mine. When we were talking to the Baroness.
And the belief is I must hide any signs of involvement around that.
Oh, like you. Read the
Yeah.
whole thing again.
The rebels probably killed the captain. I must hide any signs of their involvement in case my involvement with them is revealed.
Yeah, I don't think you hit that one because there were no signs that were hidden.
You
Okay.
At
didn't
this
have
point.
to roll. I feel like
Sounds
good.
similar.
For me, the first one is I must know how my father died, and finding his body is the first step. Perhaps some of the people here will clear the mine. Do you guys think I pushed for that enough for that to count during mostly the conversation with the Baroness?
It felt like that was the Baroness pushing.
You
We were-
definitely
At one
did
point,
a bit
I
of
said-
pushing, though.
At one point, I was like, okay, you guys need to do this and like find people, find an engineer, and then the Baroness said I should, and I said okay.
Oh, well, there we go. All right, then that
Okay.
states it for me.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
I think that's working towards sure.
Yeah.
The next one is the Empire is the rightful heir to all of Savalis, and I will snuff out any hint of insurrection in Arendelle. In order to find any, I must first integrate myself by offering my medical services. The only thing I can think of for this one would be trying to make it so they didn't know I was like with the mercenaries.
You didn't offer
back
any
at the
medical
bar.
services.
I did not offer medical services. No, I did
Which is
attempt to
the
integrate
yeah.
myself with them
Yeah,
by
but that was
by unintegrating myself with you guys, and it didn't work.
but the
So I don't know.
integrating was task A that you already got fate for, and the medical service
Wait,
is
I didn't
task
I didn't
B.
get I didn't get fate for integrating.
That was part of your what?
Some of the
Oh,
people
yeah,
here
you're
were
right.
clear.
No,
were clear
this
mine.
is a separate belief from the first one that he already got paid for.
I was
Give it-
thinking
give
of
it-
the same
borderline.
thing. It just seems double dippy to me, but that's just I'm not sure.
I would say that the actionable part of that belief, like you've got that overarching first sentence, but the actionable part was
Integrate
specifically
myself
offering
by
medical
offering
services.
medical services. Yeah, and I was
Yeah,
planning to that
so-
the next morning, but nope.
Yeah, we just didn't get there yet.
You offered medical services to a dead guy.
Yeah.
true.
Your one
That-
medical role was a dead.
True, but I
He was
didn't
a
integrate
dead.
myself. Well, I integrated myself with him more than anyone else, and then he died. So technically, I think I got Persona for my third one. The Onyx Legion is a valuable tool that I must use to my advantage. I will talk to their members and befriend one that suits my needs.
You
I did it,
Yeah.
and then he
some
died.
useless persona right there for you. There you go.
You did do it.
It was
That
done.
one.
Yes, you did it.
I didn't
As
get
long as
any.
it's not-
No, I didn't get into any trouble with my instincts.
We'll hit instincts. In that
Oh, yeah,
next.
you're
This
right.
is just
Yeah.
this is just beliefs.
This is
Um,
this is just fate for beliefs, or we also want to do the persona part.
We can do the persona part too.
I
So
take my
if you
persona for
completed,
murder.
yeah, if you completed one of your goals in your belief, you get a
I
persona.
eliminated the weakest contender.
I think I completed a goal, and I think I made movement toward one of my beliefs.
Okay.
Uh,
what are they?
So the one I completed was I need to integrate myself with the town of Arundel. Perhaps I can offer magical services to Baroness
Oh wow.
Dominica Carrasas. I literally stayed behind with like, "Yo, you need magic shit? I'm your guy."
Yeah, and that was a say yes moment. She knows how useful magic is. Otherwise, it would have been a roll. But yeah, you got that one.
Okay, and then I think I made some. I might need to change the end of it, but like I put, I must follow the dragon code by first kindling Broden's fire. Maybe by fueling my fire with Krim's companionship, I can burn him at both ends. Turns out he fucking hates her.
I mean, but the what you were working toward was like getting Prim, getting in good with Krim to help with Broden. Is
Yeah,
that-
sort of. I think that sort of molded into figuring out why does Broden not like Krim, and if I can sort of change that relationship in one way or another.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fateable, and I think it needs to change now that you know the.
Now I know the
situation.
context. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I just click the F on it?
Okay, so those check marks on the beliefs themselves, when you feel that you've done the thing while in play, like
Mhm.
click that to remind yourself that when we get to this point,
Okay.
but otherwise just tally up your Artha in the fate persona and deeds circles on your character sheet.
Okay. And then the completing the belief was persona, right?
Yes, if you achieve a personal goal, it's a persona.
Cool. And then my first one is we talked about the leader, but our leader is surely murdered, and we must learn by whom and for what reason. A Trixie may be able to enlighten me on if we can magically ascertain this information. Didn't really talk to her about that. I said we could probably do it.
You just played chess.
We played chess and boned instead.
That's fair. Didn't get to it.
Yeah.
Is that everybody's beliefs? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Moving on to instincts. If you playing an instinct that makes life difficult, in other words, if an instinct gets you into trouble, you earn a fate point.
I think I definitely got 2. Avoid thinking about or dealing with my problems at all costs, aka avoid yelling at a bar and drink instead, and never go to bed sober seems to be causing me a couple of issues here.
Yeah, I'd say. So go ahead and mark 2 fate for that one.
Yeah, my instincts did not get me in trouble. At least
Nope.
not in a way
No, they actually helped.
they helped.
Well, that inconspicuous.
I don't know if your
Stabbing
instincts
helped.
helped. It's the
Stabbing
thing about
in the
staying
hands-
behind and trying to not be suspicious. Yeah, it's
No,
Especially
I'll
the thing
take
with
fate.
Crim,
I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
sure
argue
about.
with bonus points.
Yeah, I was gonna say that second instinct that you invoked, the
Try to
with
sneak away.
Krim. Yeah, that definitely got you into trouble because you could have just booked it out of there, and she wouldn't have seen you
No, I had to sneak.
potentially.
I had to be I had to be sneaky.
Yeah.
I don't think any of my instincts even came up. Like I always use magic to solve my problems, but that didn't really like affect anything. I like helped a lady take a spear out of a doorway.
You also used it to keep the drinks away from me, so
Yeah, that's mostly helped me.
But that, yeah, it wouldn't keep getting into trouble, and I wouldn't even necessarily call that solving a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody's traits send the story in a new direction?
Mine might. I have rapier wit, which was me basically poking and annoying at Crim until she had an outburst, which may have led to the tears later, which may have led to her witnessing this, which may be domino affecting the whole thing.
Either blunt or
Take it.
professional.
Okay. That's a fate,
Yep.
right?
Go ahead, Indigo.
Sorry, I thought Primark had finished with the thing, and we had agreed because I had it as an explanation, question and answer. But I feel like blunt set. I'm bad with these names. I feel like being blunt set Siren against me, just pretty immediately. I don't know.
Yeah,
you
I don't know, Syrian, because you were like cold-shouldered at the funeral. Did that send the story in a different new direction? It was so early in the game, I really can't tell.
Well, then also I was like
You
called
know?
out for being a dick at the meeting too for the same respect. So I was trying to say like because of these two small things that felt like enough to send it in a direction. But
It might have with me, because I was planning to strike up a friendship with you, and the fact of the matter is, honestly, if you had explained, if you told Sarian why you were going to kill the sergeant, he may have ended up agreeing with you.
probably.
Like but the first thing was basically like shoving him off. Definitely led to. Well, he isn't suspicious of you, so that's the thing.
It caused story.
It did cause
my
some story.
Point. That was the point I was making. The fact I was being blunt that set you on edge a bit caused story to happen.
Yes, I think
I'll leave it up to the table what you guys think. Yeah.
I think it did. It's a big part of your sort of confrontational nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anybody else got traits?
Alcoholic.
Yeah. That conversation with Broden would have gone way different if you weren't fucking wasted.
I feel like it might have.
Like he
I
would have been amiable to a terse conversation if you were sober, but you showed up and banged on his door like
Started
a
crying.
2 a.m. fucking booty call.
I imagine too, like the crying was that point. That's like, the like, like that sort of crying.
I
I was
kind of figured it might affect things a little.
I was thinking the
Yeah.
crying,
Yeah.
at least in my expectation, was more dry heaving than really crying. Just being like, minute time, I need a break.
All right, yeah, that's definitely a fate, I think.
Okay.
Are these the traits that are like on our character burner, or the like traits that people associate us with, like that we did?
They're
Any
both the
traits you
same.
have.
Once character creation is done, they're both the same.
Oh, okay.
All of the traits on your character sheet.
Yeah, so basically, if you played into any of those traits, and what we've defined before was like if it sends the story in a different direction, then it.
My traits
You
are
know.
so all over the map.
Yep.
I don't know if I would for arrogant, because that's kind of part of the reason why he's like, I should lead. Like,
I
not this
agree with
fucker.
arrogant. I think you played arrogant, and it sent the story in a direction. It was like
It led to a
I'm in
man dying.
charge. Like fuck that guy. I can do this better than you.
Oh yeah, I need to think about that. Because if I didn't like get on his back, then maybe. But I don't think that was my traits or my instincts that did that.
Yeah, I don't know. I only say arrogant because I think it's the fact that you put that guy forward, and in my character's mind, like, he's not fucking better than me. Like,
Yeah, you
No,
didn't care until there was
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah,
I didn't care until there was competition of someone who was way beneath me.
then yeah, totally. That's a fate
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I
it-
could
I already have
succeed in
ideas
so
for
much
new
more
instincts.
with like 2 points of fate.
Awarding just so we're like all on the same page, awarding these points. I've lost my point. Fuck. Never mind. It'll come back. I'm
Okay.
sick.
Okay.
But I think it's fairly normal to get like one persona and two like 2 or 3 fate is decent for a burning wheel session.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Yeah, no, unless it's basically impossible to everyone get all 3 beliefs is insane.
Yeah.
For persona.
Yeah, unless you all work together to form your beliefs for the specific thing that you
Yes.
know is going to happen.
Like everyone formed their belief about doing the same thing, and then you get one scene where everyone gets a belief done. Like,
Yeah.
teamwork. But that's
I think
basically
we might be able to do one of those for next session, because that's gonna be the captain vote.
That's true,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
Not that I get a vote, but
Oh,
I'll have a belief about it.
I remember what I was going to say. The awarding these points it is critical that we are all honest with ourselves about the character's intentions and things like that. Like it's very gameable, but I trust all of you to like, this was the reason that I did this, that kind of thing.
Yep. That's why I was thinking about like what was my reason. I think if I didn't already get Rapier Wit for Crim, I might have for the Sergeant, because it was this, I think, the same trait of like manipulating him. Rapier Wit isn't identical to that, but it's the closest I have. I have Driven, but I forgot to rate a 4th, so I'll get to that later. So
Is Driven a 4th belief?
I
or
don't
is it,
know. I was
like,
trying to look it up. I can't remember.
Oh no, Driven is a call on for
For a
whatever you
belief.
define.
I
Okay.
really
No,
need to
for
look
a
and write down
skill,
the beliefs.
but you
for a
you can redefine the skill like each session. I think for Driven.
Okay.
At least that's how we
I'll
used
look it at the
before.
book. I think you're right.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah, it's a
that's
call
fine.
on for anything basically.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so that's beliefs, instincts, and traits. One thing I will always ask every session is humor. Did anything anybody said totally stop the game and make everybody laugh?
It's rare.
Not
Nothing
for
that
a
like
long
stopped
period of
everything.
time.
Nothing that like. I think we had some chuckles, but nothing that was stop everything laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, no right skill, right time.
It also says while in
Uh,
character.
Yeah, none of us
Yeah.
made any in-character jokes.
No. I
Yeah.
make out of character jokes all the fucking time.
Yeah, I wasn't counting like our dumb Force jokes.
Dumb Star Wars memes.
The only joke I
Um,
made in character wasn't like funny, so no.
Okay.
Yeah, and keep an eye out for like things like embodiment, where someone captures the mood of the table perfectly and role plays something really awesome.
Mhm.
Um,
Can you
and
do what's the opposite of embodiment?
Disembodiment?
where you grind.
That's what you did with today.
You're
You
so
disembodied
bad at
someone.
role playing games, you drive the game to a halt, and we all just walk away.
We all just quit the game. Like, all right, we're only an hour in, but we're done for today. We're just done.
Done.
So it's
Sorry,
probably
you
some kind
suck
of
so
like
bad.
monumentally terrible pun. That's what it's going to be.
And the other thing I'd like to look at periodically is Mold Breaker, role-playing your character in a believable, engaging manner at a point in the story where their belief, instincts, or traits conflict, where you grind your bits together and one comes out on top. Like,
Yeah, you get an extra one for
it's
that.
yeah, it's usually like a heavily conflicted moment with your character. If you see an opportunity to do that, do not hesitate to ham it up.
Or yeah, ham it up, build your beliefs so that they're gonna just collide with each other, and then when it does, like, center the spotlight on that for a sec, kind of thing.
Yep. But that should be it. I don't usually look at Workhorse or MVP until
Yeah, it's
at least
rarer.
a few sessions, maybe trait vote time. We'll look at those. But yeah, that's session 1 of Burning Wheel. Clause and Defect.
Yes. Thank you for
And
watching, everyone.
I think we've set the tone.
Yeah. You know,
We had some
Game of
conversations,
Thrones
some
vibes out of it.
prodding, some intrigue, and then a murder. And then
Yeah.
an I didn't do it.
Would we really call it a murder?
Yes, it is a murder. They didn't even fight back.
Objectively, it was a murder.
By definition. You're welcome to justify it, but it was still a murder.
You used a knife to end someone that was helplessly pinned to a wall. That's not
By
even
you.
self-defense. That's not.
The only reason they were pinned is that the snare failed.
I'm strongly considering my character ignored the snare in the moment, but he's probably going to start investigating.
That might be the reason that you're like, it's got to be the rebels here, because they purposely
set
put
traps.
a trap here. You know,
Yeah.
I like this blame someone else angle.
Oh yes, it makes total sense.
Yeah. I don't think you've got me on that one yet.
No, Krim, I think is suspicious of you. I'm suspicious of the rebels. We're gonna have a whole
the trait alcoholic.
thing.
I don't need to listen to anything you say.
Yeah,
Jump on that.
But it's good if Krim if Krim was ever to get a wake up call, it would be the classic find the murderer thing. Or
I mean, I've had 2 tonight.
yeah,
yeah.
and remember, you're gonna remember both of them.
Yeah, the boy you orphaned was like, you're a fucking horrible alcoholic and you need to shape up.
But I
Definitely,
feel like
Krim will remember that. It was in the top right corner of the screen.
But I feel like you started drinking pretty post that conversation with the small angry child.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna stop. We might
Or just
figure some stuff out in between sessions, and get ready for next week. We're on for next week, I believe.
I should be good.
Perfect.
I'll
Then
let you know.
same.
Probably.
Okay.
More than
Probably
likely.
same time next week. Thank you for watching.
All right.
Clause and Effects, Episode 1. See ya.
Night,
Bye.
everybody.